Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 187 of Perpetual Backlog. I'm super tired because I took a nap in my chair like an hour before the stream, and I totally forgot about uh, doing this. And I woke up at like 11:35, and I was like, "Oh, right, need to do this."
Classy.
Uh, I'm one of your hosts, Aqua, and joining me, like always, is Dalit.
There's so much news, and so much of it is good.
And Leek.
Hello, I currently have a wet tea towel on my shoulders because I have migraines when the weather gets bad. And I've
Pressure.
microwaved said tea towel because it heats it up to
Yeah.
right temperature. Thank you.
No, thank you.
This has been Leek's TED Talk. Remember, hot tea towel.
Hot tea towel, microwave.
Yep. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and say it. All right.
Then.
I played Fairy Tale this week, but I'm not gonna talk. I'm not gonna talk about that because it's just me going through a very basic RPG. So yada yada. Played Fairy Tale, watched Fairy Tale, etc. etc. Dalit and I tried the Sword Art Online Fractured Daydream open beta. Actually,
This is correct.
Oh, I did see that pop up on my Steam
Yeah.
thingy. How was it?
Actually really fun. It is jank. It is not a very well made video game. But I'm gonna tell you what. Some of the best well made video games just happen to end up being not very well made video games.
No,
I
I'm sorry. You're
enjoy
gonna have
it.
to explain that take.
Have you ever played a Dimps game?
I have played a lot of them. Dimps
Yeah,
was my reintroduction into fighting games after a long break.
they're usually not extremely well made video games or whatever, but they're pretty good video games.
It's interesting because I heard you say this before, but a lot of my, or at least a lot of the times that I know it's Dimps working on something, is almost exclusively fighting game related, and they are, in my opinion, one of the best. So I'm actually kind of used to their more refined stuff.
Well, I'm gonna go ahead and say this: Dragon Ball Budokai and Dragon Ball Budokai 2 are not very well refined video games.
Okay, look, listen. They all can't be winners, but
yeah,
Budokai is based first of all. So that is if this is what we're talking about, jank but glorious, then yes, jank but glorious.
yeah,
Son
that's what I mean.
Mikasa.
Jank Bull Glorious. And they made the other best SAO game, which was Fatal Bullet. So, they also working on the Freedom Wars because Freedom Wars Remaster because that's also their video game.
Mhm.
So they're making Freedom Wars, and honestly, I kind of think this SAO game kind of probably plays a little bit of Freedom Wars, maybe a little bit. I don't know. I've never played Freedom Wars, so I have no idea. It's like a Phantasy Star Light video game is
Okay.
what I'm getting at here. You play as one of the various characters in the Sword Art Online franchise, and they're split up into different roles. And you can play. You could do these like open world-esque story missions, that lead up to a raid boss, or you can just do raid bosses. And you play up to 20 people. So it's like these raid bosses they do have 20 people in them, and if sometimes the 20 people cannot be filled up, it fills it up with a computer slot.
That's
I think
always
this game's pretty
ideal.
good. I think it's man. It is fun. That's what I'll say. It is fun. I wouldn't say this is probably this is a video game of all time. There we go. How about that?
Yeah, I'm not terribly connected to the series, so I did enjoy what I played of it. Kind of. Don't care about any of the characters really, but There's a lot of good ideas there. There's also a sword golem, which IMO, horrendous idea.
Yeah,
Absolutely the worst time I had in that game.
the
Other than that,
sword
there's a
golem.
lot of it that I like. I also always worry about like large lobbies,
Hmm.
but I guess they already have it prepared with the bots in place. So
Hmm.
we'll see how it goes.
Hmm.
Fatal Bullet was still had a lot of people playing it. A lot is a variable term, but they still had a decent amount of people playing it, like even like a year after its launch, because it still had content. Like the one thing about SAO games or whatever is that they at least get content for like the next 2 years after their launch. Um, so it's maybe not the most recent SAO game. I don't know if they're going to be doing any content of that, but I feel like this game will probably get some updated stuff. Just considering it's actual like a straight up multiplayer game. Um, yeah, I know. I bought the game, so I'm gonna be playing it. Um, with or without I guess friends, because it's just fun sitting there grinding this game, play with
Sure.
randos. So
Mm-hmm.
before the thing went up, I did hop on Sinon for a couple of matches, Dalit, because I got Asuna to 30, and so I didn't need to actually
Nice.
play as Asuna anymore. Um, yeah, I understand. Man, Sinon can do a lot of damage. All right,
Sure
but
do.
God, you you need to make sure you are not in the scope for very long,
'Cause you
because
can't see fuck all, and you will get hit.
you look down that scope. Every 5 seconds, you're probably like, yeah, there's probably an AoE under me.
Ooh. Oh, it's one of those scopes that takes over the screen.
Correct.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
it takes up the whole screen. Yeah, and that'll be different for the other rangers that are in the game, because some of them,
Yes, because they don't scope as hard as her. This is true.
yeah, yeah, she is the one with the sniper rifle, so um, yeah, her stuff's pretty good. She's a lot easier to play against Sword Golem than Asuna was. I can tell you that.
Yeah,
Because
I complain
God.
about Sword Golem, but I played two pretty excellent characters into it. Played a character that
Hmm.
could fly, which was fantastic. And I played a sniper, so the Sword Golem can absolutely light up the whole room with AoE. So that was less fun, but it was still better than melee's. Rip all you Kirito mains.
Yeah, rip any melee man. I'm gonna be real here. Like Skull Reaper was. So I honestly figured out a way to fight Skull Reaper where I haven't having too much of a hard time or whatever. Uh, as a melee, I don't know if I could ever find a non-hard time as a melee against Sword Golem. So, you have very limited options to hit that thing. Um, but it's nice. There's like a little PvP like aspect of the game where you're just trying to do better than the other teams because you may be in like a
Yeah,
raid of
there's a
20.
competitive nature to it. Yes, I don't know
Yeah,
that PvP is the word, but you are
yeah,
inclined to be competitive with the people you are fighting alongside.
yeah, because you get higher chances of getting gear if you're like if you end up being MVP, the MVP team. So,
Also, you look badass as hell when you're the one to get the last hit. Nice slow
true.
down, zoom in, pan on your character. That felt good. That felt real
I
good.
got
Mm.
I got one as Sinon, so or on the sword golem. So that was
Tell you,
pretty
man,
good.
when you do like 30K per hit, you can snipe that last hit pretty reliably, I think.
Mhm. Yeah. Uh outside of that, uh yeah. Oh, actually, I lied. I did play one other game, but I can't I it's not really a game to talk about. Um I have like went and did like some matches of Fortnite over the past couple of days. with one of my other friends.
Did you get a chicken dinner? Was the chicken
No,
dinner
no,
yours?
no. For one, you don't get a chicken dinner in Fortnite. That's PUBG.
That's PUBG. Damn.
Yeah.
Uh,
Excuse my ignorance.
and two, no, we always ended up like number two. So
Hey, that's pretty
whether it
good
be
though.
whether if we're in like uh whether if we're in like doing doubles or like triples or a squad.
Yeah. What's the battle pass thing now? Is there a theme?
Oh, it's Marvel right now.
Okay.
Um,
Oh, is it
so
like Black Cat and stuff? I think I've seen this.
it's Black Panther, Doctor Doom,
Wrong Black Cat. Fair. Doom, I did know
uh,
about. Doom
Iron
foot dives
Man.
makes me very happy.
Yeah, yeah. It's a very Marvel heavy thing right now, and you get like jetpacks, and you get like you get Iron Man's like hand blasters and his feet to or like his boots to like fly around on. You can get like War Machines like auto target turrets and stuff like that. Captain America's shield. It's a lot of it. I have mixed feelings about it. Um, because nothing's more annoying than like a couple of people fucking jetpacking around and stuff like that. But also some of them are
Proton
idiots.
cannon.
Some of them are idiots with it or whatever and can't really control it, and so they like jetpack to their death. Um, but all I know is that
I was not prepared for
That
that.
scared the hell out of me.
I closed so many tabs so quickly. I have to bring them all back up now.
That scared the hell out of me.
I genuinely thought I clicked on something. You're the worst.
uh, yep. That's me for the week.
You go first. No,
I should
you
go
should.
from by the sounds of.
Yeah.
Like Aqua said, we did some sort of online Fractured Daydream. It was good fun. I also played a bunch of Persona 4 Arena and Dragon Ball Fighters with D and Matthew.
Mm-hmm.
That was a
Well,
bunch
that
of fun. I haven't played a whole lot of fighters recently. I am. What's the next level down from Rusty? I'm
oxidized.
whatever that is. I'm fully oxidized. It's not great. My brain was working super slow. I would see things and I know the answer to the question that move is asking. I just wasn't fast enough. So I did fine. Thankfully, D was there to, do stuff and look really good. It's like, okay, fair enough. At least someone's on their game. Other than that, because of D and because of Ali, I was introduced to Sword of Convallaria, which I was very excited about. Because all I knew at the moment was it was like a pixel art tactics game with music by Sakamoto Hitoshi. That's the Evilise composer. And
Mhm.
I was
Mhm.
like, "Oh, I'm super into this. This is just tactics. Let's go." Started playing. It's a gotcha game,
I
so it's
mean,
still a
it's
tactics game, and it's still good. And
it's free to play, so I don't know what you
it
expected.
is, yeah, but it is one of those cases of like, oh, but I got myself so excited for another tactics game. The real issue here isn't even the gotcha elements. I've learned to ignore those. I get what I'm giving and I move on. What kills me in this particular game is the stamina system. I want to keep going, but I can't.
Oh, I hate that limiting.
Yeah.
Ugh.
It usually doesn't bother me because a lot of games I'm like, oh yeah, it's big, it's flashy, it's fun. All right, that was fun. I can go play a different game now. No, this is the first gotcha in a long time. I don't even know since when. That I've been like, no, I really would like to keep going. Please stop stopping me. This is super frustrating. But yeah, that's it. That's the three I got up to. As far as Sword of Convallaria goes, If gotchas don't turn you off, I'm going to acknowledge this because it feels like a Square strategy game. It feels really good. It sounds really good. I really wish it was in English, uh, dub wise, but its localization seems fine. If nothing else, I'm here for the music. It's so immediately nostalgic.
Good,
That's it.
good.
Didn't do much other than that. So, Lee,
Oh,
go on. Story time.
first of all, I'll just cover what I actually did game wise, and it wasn't that much. It was just like I played a little bit of Fields of Mystria, 90s anime Stardew
Hmm.
Valley. Very good.
Oh, retro
It
grind. I like this
Yeah,
retro
it's
grind
nice.
we're on.
It's just pleasant, you know? And then, actually, just before this, podcast, I was playing Dale and Dawson Stationery Supplies.
This
That's
is the one that you were mentioning,
you
yes?
really no, really, we should get Matt and the others to play it all together because it's so
Yes, yes,
silly.
okay.
It's so silly. Yeah, I was playing that. Now, so yes, I do GTA RP, as you know, and I I'm gonna say I did play a character called Perry. I used to play a character
No!
called Perry.
You used to play a parrot. Oh no.
Oh,
Well,
oh yes.
Not the boy.
salutes in
Yeah,
chat for Perry.
unfortunately, sweet sweet Perry was, he was murdered. Not
There
only
will be
killed, he was murdered
vengeance.
until he was dead.
I mean, yeah, someone did a good job with the murder then, hey.
Yeah, yeah. So there's this storyline going that's no. So someone made a meme out of this too. Just to preface this, the meme is a picture of the, the domino thing, that one. The
Yeah.
first domino is Spider-Man 3.
Oh,
Domino is Perry
okay.
dying because there was
What?
there was a thing. It started off as a silly joke. Okay, uh, one character played by the LGX Bryce Miller had this T-shirt or shirt basically it was this shirt from that was like the Spider-Man 3 shirt that Peter Parker wears when he's an absolute tosser, you know?
Yes, yes, okay.
Yeah, and someone else, another character called Burner, uh, yoinked it basically, or he was either forced to put it on because he was dressing him up, right? And Burner turned into an absolute tosser. He was overly confident and would be mean to people. So
It
Bryce
was
took
the
it back.
shirt.
Yeah, it was a shirt because Automod. Yeah. So, um, yes. So Bryce took it back to basically ripped it off Burner's body to stop him being the way he was with the shirt on. He put it on and became even worse of an egotistical
Um,
person and stuff like
Mm.
that. So this shirt was basically dubbed cursed. Okay, it was there. We're not allowed to do supernatural role play or anything. Okay, but we were acting like they're basically the shirt gave made people so confident it brought out the worst in them. So this shirt was forgotten for a bit until it was brought back because someone had broken into his penthouse or was staying there over the time and raided Bryce's wardrobe and found the shirt again. And so the cycle continued. So uh, someone else called Yogi took the shirt, became an asshole. And then someone else who was already an asshole put on the shirt and became delightful.
oh,
Hmm.
oh.
Yes, and then someone else called Orc, who as in, Orc as in like he had a mask on and everything. That's a different thing I'll talk about shortly. He put on the shirt, became an absolute hunk, but a fuckboy, and
Yeah,
started
okay.
terrorizing people. It was oh
Well,
my god. Yeah, this just started just from just a silly prank. It just started snowballing basically. So Orc became Hawk, which is okay. assassin hunky orc, right? But funnily
Oh,
enough,
is that what is that what that's supposed to be shorthand
yeah, or
for?
handsome,
All
whatever,
right.
right? It was just basically hawk. So, um, actually, his uh, it's a government name, shall we say? It was Ted Hawk on his ID, so actually worked anyway. He was Hawk.
Oh,
Um, yeah, yeah, which is funny. Now, Hawk terrorized people in that he made people fall in love with him. And then he would like double date people and break up with cheat and everything, right? And break people's hearts. And he was an
incubus.
absolute tosser about it. But Orc, his quote unquote original personality, is a sweetheart. I mean, he does want to fight people, but he was nice. He was a lovable character.
Hmm.
No one could understand him, mostly because he talks like
Basque.
this, the opposites,
Oh,
like that kind of thing, right?
you're all right.
Yeah, a little bit like Smeagol, a little bit. But yeah, as Hawk, he was not so great. He was kind to some people. You know the whole like flying monkeys sort of concept of a narcissist, right? They sort of like, they make to some people they're nice. So you get the whole like, but he's so nice. I can't see him doing that kind of thing
Yeah.
situation. So he did that sort of stuff in the role play. So there was like, is he, isn't he type of deal. Now the shirt eventually air quotes lost power and Orc returned and he and like I said, once again, we're not allowed to do supernatural role play. We should just assume that he just went back to his original persona, and in his head, he thought he needed to recharge it, but we don't know really what happened there. Um, so it went away for a time. The shirt
Uh-huh.
once again went away. Like the One Ring was lost to the
Oh
ages for
no.
some time. Okay. Now, most recently, people wanted to burn the shirt, get rid of it forever because no one liked Hawk really. He was a terrible person. But it was a part of Orc. Same body, same brain. And Orc wanted to do stuff on his own terms. He did want to burn it and give it some sort of funeral for Hawk. But unfortunately, people got a bit I see nervous and impatient, so took it into their own hands, including the character's mother, Mercy, who's a doctor. Mercy Schilling, who I must say, Schilling was a name Orc took on legally most recently too. So there's some like familiar heartstring thing going on here because Orc felt betrayed that Mercy and Bryce and the friend group, including Perry, was going to take the shirt and basically burn it without him having a real say in it and what happened. And yes, they took the shirt, but without putting the shirt on, Hawk appeared again. And this time he was ready to cause as much havoc and chaos and pain as possible. He took great
Oh,
offense
the
to
ID.
yeah, yeah, really. So he took great offense to Mercy in particular betraying him in his head and wanted to hurt her as deeply as possible. And to do that, he went after the people she cared about. And so
He's a proper villain.
He's
My
a
my.
I was applauding the role player for this. I did the D&D one shot most recently.
Mhm.
Lion Sage is the role player for Orc and Hawk. Uh,
Mm.
the way he played both characters so differently and so convincingly is really, really well done. So, big thumbs up and claps for him, right? But he played such a villain. Hawk is evil. Hawk is evil.
That sounds very good.
Very good though. Well done. Now, yeah, so he went after people to specifically hurt his mother, hurt Mercy. So he went after her closest friend, which was Bryce, and nearly killed him at a wedding. He went
Oh,
after someone who considered a brother, and also someone who Mercy was great friends with as well, Eddie. nearly killed him. He actually flatlined, and
Oh.
we thought he was dead, but he was it called Lazarus syndrome or whatever? I think it was that basically he spontaneously got his pulse again in the morgue
Oh, oh,
before the
interesting.
autopsy. So yeah, he was basically resuscitated, and then after that, we're all on edge. Um, but a little pause to that before these particular events took place. There were a number of failings by the police on different matters, but also leading up to this particular case of Orc, where the police are very poor documenting, getting statements, and so on. That led to basically stuff related to like the friend group and the situation not working out for them legally. So
Mm.
the whole group's trust in the police and the law were not great. Now, at, Bryce had a warrant at the time due to a separate incident, uh, but instead of investigating his attack with a hatchet that sent him into the ICU, instead they decided to handcuff him in the hospital and arrest him for the warrant instead, because that's more important.
I I mean, I guess that's the for sure
And he
thing.
never took his
That's
statement for the attack, by the way.
interesting. Very
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, so the trust in police fell further. I don't think they even investigated Eddie's thing besides I did they take a I can't remember if they did take a statement for Eddie when he was revived. I don't remember at all. But it was on record that something had happened. Um they still haven't taken Orc's statement about his oh gosh, there's more things. So after these two attacks, Mercy, his mother, uh, basically just wanted to end things, try to, because she felt very responsible for her son's actions, regardless of who he identified as at the time, and kidnapped him. Now she was very close to literally putting ending his life, unaliving her son, and
Mm.
but
Oh.
at the last minute she couldn't because it's her kid. Doesn't want to. She just can't bring herself to do it. um, she knows Orc is in there somewhere. I was hoping to instead draw him out again. So let him go. Let Hawk go. Now, a few days after, this is where we start entering the tragic chapter, the final chapter of Perry.
Oh
Oh,
no.
I forgot
uh,
why we were getting
this
here.
is this is
Right.
this is why we're talking about this in the first place. So, uh, during that time, after being let go, Orc sent out texts Hawk sent out texts to a few people that was on the list. Basically, there was Perry, there was Tanner, there was Brandy, which is Perry's sister. I can't remember who else. There's one other person as well. Um, and it was basically eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Each person getting that a word. The last, the Mo, which was like what everyone assumed would be the next person to be targeted. Mo was sent to Brandy. Uh, but there were people that said, "Nah, don't ignore it. He's just trying to scare you. Don't take it seriously." But Perry was on edge. He was telling people, "Sure, we need to look out for this. This is like Mo's Brandy. She might be targeted next." He was telling people, and like, "Nah, it's okay. Don't worry about it. He's just trying to mess with you, Perry. He's just trying to mess with you." He was told a couple of times. So, putting that out of his mind for a brief moment, he was looking around one day with Tanner, who is like a friend, a close friend of Bryce, and grew close to Perry and Brandy as well. They were just driving around looking for spots for an event they were going to hold, which is like a poetry event that Perry wanted to hold for another friend who'd recently died, who's someone in the chat. Hello, Fox, Xbox. But yeah,
Oh, no.
there's lots of death recently. But yeah, he wanted to Oh, is it Rowan? Oh, possibly Rowan. But he wanted to basically find a spot to hold this poetry event in honor of the late friend. Yeah, rip your old character. um, Now, during just stopping off at one place, just getting out the car to look at it, Tanner decided to stay in the car to just, do business stuff on his emails, and Perry got out to have a look around. And then, lo and behold, a random car pulls up. The person inside the car sounds a little surprised, but then seems quite pleased that he came across Perry and tells him to get in the car and pulls out a gun.
Yeah.
He
Yeah, that
doesn't
tracks.
recognize his person because it is a disguise. As Perry soon found out. He's like, sees the gun, goes, "Well, shit," gets in the car, because he doesn't want to get shot. He doesn't know who it is at the time either, so he just assumes, "Oh, I'm just gonna get robbed or something." So he just gets in the car, complies, and they drive off. Just as they are driving off, Tanner in the car basically realizes what's happening and starts driving after the car, but the distance is too great, and unfortunately, Tanner loses track of where Perry and this person is. So while they're driving to a new location, the kidnapper, reveals themselves to be Hawk. And Perry goes, well, there's a number of things that go through his mind. Now, he doesn't want to hurt Hawk because Orc, who is somewhere in there, is his friend, a very close friend, and he doesn't want to hurt him. He has a bat. He would defend himself if it came to that, but he's got a gun on him. There's no way he's going to have time to pull a bat and bonk him over the head. There's no time. So, uh, gun on him the whole time. So instead, he wants to try to reach Orc through words and has a heart to heart as they're driving. And there is a moment, and perhaps there is some. He does kind of get through to them. But as the driving goes on and they go to a very, very secluded spot, Perry actually comes to the realization this is it. This is it. So he makes one last ditch attempt to try at least to get any information out of him, any way to try to reach Hawk. And he starts, trying to, he says he misses Hawk.
Yeah.
He knows that he is Orc, and he misses his friend. And there is like a hesitation I could hear in the voice. I was like, "Oh, is it? Is it? Is it?" But unfortunately, no, no. He gets out the car. He is told to turn around, and still thinking he has a gun to him. Uh, yeah, Perry kind of makes peace with the fact this is it,
Mm.
and he gets bonked at the back of the head with a hammer quite a few times.
Oh,
Oh, wait, what? With a
Yeah,
hammer?
yeah,
why a
yeah, yeah.
hammer?
While his back's turned, he switches to a hammer because
Oh.
there's a way mechanically and also in role play that the police can tell if you shot a firearm. So he's basically covering his tracks. Hawk, as I
Mm.
said, is a very good villain.
Smart man.
Yeah, yeah. Of course, there is blood on the scene, but it would have been or Perry's blood, although there is this weird mechanic that you bleed also if you're starving, and I think Orc made a slight slip up, out of character, where he didn't eat beforehand and actually had something on the scene as well. That's a shame, I
Mm.
think, but yeah, I can't help it.
Mm.
Now, being knocked unconscious by these hammer blows, Orc then, or Hawk, should I say, then takes him out into because they're along a coastline on a beach. He takes him out into the open water and dumps him in the water. Now,
Mm.
at that point, I'm thinking, oh, he's been knocked unconscious and his head's underwater. I best do some D&D style death saving throws. So I do. So I gave it some time in between each roll, as you would. So the first number was 4.
Ugh.
Not great.
The second number was 4.
Still not great.
Oh, man, not
The
great.
last number was 3.
Wrong way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, unfortunately, I had to make the very hard decision for Perry to unfortunately drown.
Mm.
Yeah, and because he was unconscious and far away from the actual coastline, Oh, not too far, but far enough away you couldn't really see unless you really, looked. Um, he was not found for some time. There was actually I was watching other people's streams because there was an alert that went up. Tanner had immediately alerted the police once he had lost a vehicle. And so there was a search going on, but because Hawk was very good at covering his tracks before Perry was found, it took a while. And it was taking a bit too long. And roleplay wise, I wanted to give people something to work with. So I roleplayed it as a local person had found or saw something out in the water, realized it was a person, and called the ambulance.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah. Because I had waited. I wanted to see if they did find him first, but it was looking like the place was a bit too secluded. But there was like NPCs on the beach that I'd seen, so I played it as that. So the EMS did roll up eventually and swam out. They had to swim out to retrieve Perry's body. And unfortunately, it was a bit too late. It was like 30 minutes, and you can't hold your breath for that long. And I'd
No.
already done the death saving throws and stuff, so that was that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was sad. It was
That's
sad.
very sad.
It was very sad. So unfortunately, he was dead on arrival. They tried to resuscitate him. They even did open heart, like electric shocks, but that wasn't working. That wasn't gonna work, I'm afraid. Yeah. Oof, oof. But that was really sad, and I was crying.
Oh, understandable.
I was
A character.
crying. Yeah, it's
Death of an
it's
unfulfilled character.
yeah, you're not wrong, actually. There's a lot of things that Perry wanted to do but never got to do it. So it
Perry
was
had a
very
hell of a time.
interesting. He did. Now, I was thinking about it as well because, it's an odd thing being very sad about losing a character like that. It's like, in a way, losing someone like almost like a friend. I actually realized it felt like mourning as well. It was very strange
Oh,
sensation. Yeah, it was. It felt like that. So I took a couple of days, 1 or 2 days off, really role playing. I mean, I had a silly character I jumped on just to improve my mood, but
right.
other than that, I actually was had the pleasure of watching the other people in the storyline, like have these threads of story to work with and role play, and now I'm seeing like the rest of the story play on and how people are running with what they have. It's really cool to see on the outside, see how the story resolves. But it is so sad. It's so sad, my poor Perry. Ah, ah,
He
yeah.
shall be remembered.
Oh yeah, actually they like that very day, the day he had passed away. They actually made on a pier he liked to go to, like a little poetry corner,
Oh,
which was
that's
very sweet, I thought. So
yeah.
they're still gonna hold their poetry event in Perry's name at some point.
Hmm.
So that's gonna be very sweet to watch. I'm gonna watch that and have tissues and cry, probably.
Understandable, frankly.
Oh, actually, there's some spicy stuff coming along that still because I still left stuff behind for people to use that related to Perry and unresolved things and secret feelings and stuff that might come that might be made known because of poetries he left behind. So we'll see. We'll see. I have my emotional terrorism hasn't ended.
I might be
Emotional
gone,
Doing it
but
from
I will
beyond the
slowly take
grave.
you all down.
Yeah, and as I said, it's very hard to play a bad guy, especially a character that is hated by other characters. Because like after Perry had died, and Hawk was caught and sent to prison. Uh, Bryce uh, deliberately got himself arrested just so he could beat his ass in jail.
That's that's some mafia level stuff.
That's
No,
next
he's
level, yeah.
a die character, seriously. Phew, Mercy tried, but the police clocked on that she was probably going to try to hurt her son in retaliation, so they wouldn't let her get arrested. And the poor role player and the character was blubbering, crying, like really heartfelt. That really got to me. She's so good at acting. Oh my
Yes.
god! Because that's what it is acting. This is full on acting.
This is improv.
Yeah, it is. It's hard to do, and it's oh my god, the emotions. I was crying with this character. I was like, "Go, let her go to jail. Please arrest her." Oh god, yeah, and Brandy, who's played by Haley. Brandy is very close to Perry, like literally brother and sister. She her acting was astonishing. Because as soon as Perry was pronounced dead officially, oh my god! Uh, I
Sounds
ugly cried.
brilliant.
She ugly cried. I ugly cried. I think everybody in the room did.
Yeah.
Oh my god! She really did knock it out of the park. Yeah, it was crazy. So I don't know. I have to say this is my first time I've done GTA RP ever. I mean, I've done D&D and stuff like that. I've done LARPing, and I've been in theater, but is this hits differently because you have how involved you get with the character, because you do
I bet.
become them to play them, right? So, oh gosh, yeah, it's very heavy. I started Perry as a Stardew Valley character parody, and look where he's come. Look how far he's come.
Now, emotional terrorists.
And now emotional terrorist, worm food. Okay, yeah, but that is unfortunately is the end of Perry. I yesterday finished. I edited his wiki page for the last time. Ugh.
Aw.
uh, yeah, I edited his wiki page for the last time. It's full of juicy details if you wanna read, folks. But yeah, there is some meta in there if you're
No,
still
no.
playing.
You just
Yeah,
wait until somebody becomes a necromancer.
someone joked about that. Someone did joke about that. Yeah.
Because that's the first person they're bringing back.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Or turn me into a robot. There was Robo Perry jokes as well. Yeah, but I like I said, I did start. I did hop onto my silly character, my legally distinct Harley Quinn. Um, just to cool down from the heavy stuff, you know. But I did start a new character too. So I got a new main. Who's he's like a literally a
Perry
jack of all
Jr.
trades. No.
Mm.
I don't personally like doing, like, "Oh, and now the relative slides into into scene." Scratches out Perry, turns him into Terry. No, yeah, no. No, I prefer doing a completely different character. I'd rather keep it all separate. So, yeah, this bloke's called Jackie, and he's a taxi driver.
Alright.
Which is nice. I like doing the taxi job in the server because you get to talk to loads of people and
Yeah.
stuff. Jackie's cool. Oh, thanks. Yeah. And like Perry, he has no. Well, he does have some past stuff because you need some stuff to build on a character, right? He does have a past that something in his past that is that can be something to use against him. And I'm talking to myself. You will use this pass against him in the future, Kim. But yeah, no. Overall though, he's actually a lot happier person than Perry was. Perry's a sad boy,
Alright.
pretending to be a happy boy.
Hey man, Perry
Off
became like
off to the races again.
paralyzed for a little bit.
Yeah,
So I mean,
Perry was a sad
Perry
boy,
went through some
pretending
shit.
to be a happy boy, but Jackie is a happy boy. So that's the big difference. Sad boy. Yeah, he was. But yeah, yeah. So I started Jackie's journey properly yesterday, so that's good. And I can't wait for seeing how the story of Hawk Orc ends. So, yeah,
Just can't wait for more stories.
Shivved in
This is
prison.
yeah.
compelling.
I
That's
really
where
should
it's gonna
stream it
happen.
more. I don't know. I have a hard time actually streaming roleplay, not because, well, kind of because of my internet connection isn't so great and is a bit jarring, but because I get so into the role, I actually worry about neglecting the stream. I don't know. Maybe I need to find a balance. The other folks I role play with are very good at switching between talking to chat as out of character and then switching back into character. I have a harder time doing it.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't know. And it's just a skill I'll need to practice. But I do want to stream more, especially since I started a new character. But we'll see. We'll see. You have your chats,
Yeah.
oh, text to talk pumped into your head. Oh, really? Ooh, I'm not sure if I could do that. I don't know. I have a really hard time concentrating. Splitting my attention is very difficult for me. That's another reason why. We'll see. But anyway, that is GTA RP news. Perry's
That's
dead. Perry's dead.
crazy. Oh no, I must leave floors. Hey guys, don't forget to sub to the channel if you're into what you're hearing. While you're down there, remember to like the video as much as we like you. You'll be good now.
Hmm.
Hooray. Anyway, we're
Poor.
not here to talk about that really.
Are you
We're
sure?
we're here to talk about state of play.
Oh yeah, that as well.
Yeah.
Well, we're here to talk about a lot of stuff. State of play is one of them.
It's true.
Oh yes, there is more stuff.
Mm.
Actually, what do you want to do? Do you want to do the other news first and then
We'll do
state
the
of
state of
play?
we'll do the state of play last because state of play
Okay.
is just like a list of
That
stuff we
makes
can go
sense.
through.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, first on the agenda, we all knew it was coming. We all knew it was coming. Nintendo was not going to let Power World just sit there, all right, and be as based as it is, all right. Nintendo is suing Power World, not for copyright infringement. Surprisingly enough, not for copyright infringement, for patent infringement. And
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, this is bullshit. This is complete
It
bullshit.
it super is, and what's worse is they'll probably win.
We win, yeah, because Nintendo has like a 100% win rate in
Mm.
Japan.
Well, it's not even
So
that, just like on paper, their case is rock solid.
Is it what?
is
What
it
exactly?
is it
Well,
really
If
how,
it
though?
actually
is,
going
so
after.
here's the thing. To my knowledge, we actually don't know what specific thing they're being sued over. So I should say it's rock solid. Um, we know that Nintendo has a few patents for the method in which you catch Pokemon,
Mhm.
including the Pokeball, the method of throwing it, how it drops and wiggles 3 times, and then also has a methodology for riding the Mons both in air and on the water.
Mhm.
So it is assumed very popularly that these are two of the probably many patents that are being infringed upon by Pocket Pair because let's be
Infringes in
real,
quotations here.
big quotes.
Infringes in
Because let's be
quote.
real, there's a lot that looks like what happens in the Pokemon games. So if this is true and the courts are willing to hear it, not just throw it out on its face, which they probably won't. We know
Mhm.
of the court
Mhm.
system. I don't see a world wherein Pocket Pair can possibly win this. Um,
Well,
Yeah.
so the thing
So
I've
if it,
been looking
yeah,
into
yeah, no,
with
you go.
it,
Yeah.
yeah, the
Mhm.
thing that I've been looking into it with it is that Nintendo doesn't normally go in and like try to win these court cases. At
no,
half
they
the
just
time,
outlast them.
well, half the time they don't even go to court.
Yeah, they can force a settlement because they know that they will ruin them financially
Yeah,
otherwise.
yeah, they do. But this is the first company that Nintendo's attacked that could possibly stay in court. Pocket Pair's
I
made a
don't
lot of
think
money.
that's true.
No.
Pocket Pair made a lot of money this year.
I
They
look,
made a
that's
lot of
true.
money this year.
Whilst that is entirely accurate, I do not think any amount of time spent in the court system is worthwhile for them. Because at the end of the day, that money will disappear very quickly in a
Mhm.
court case.
So, like
Moreover, um, even if they do want to drag it out just for a little bit, just to look tough, they do so knowing that at the end of the day, they cannot compete with Nintendo's pocketbook.
yeah, the thing that I assume is probably gonna happen is that Pocket Pair will settle or whatever, and they'll just change their, mechanics in game. Because I mean, let's be real here. The game doesn't isn't hinged on you throwing a ball and the ball wiggling 3 times or whatever. You could literally make a gun with a net to catch your pals.
Yeah, yeah, and admittedly, this was pretty stupid Pocket Pair's part. Anyway, other Pokemon clones have been very clever about that. Leek, you showed me one like 2 years ago, Temtem, yes?
Yeah, so that's the thing, because I was wondering what patent was, because if it is the method of catching, Temtem is similar. It doesn't have a ball, it has like a card, but it's
A card,
basically the
yes.
same.
Yeah,
Visually, it's
well,
So
slightly different, but otherwise it's the same. And if it get
now
if they win this, I am afraid it'll give them an excuse to go after others.
you see, that's the
Basically,
so
thing. That's why I don't
yeah,
think Pocket Pair will go to court with this because if
right.
they win, then they could, but if they settle,
that's
it's not. There's no
true.
precedent. There's no precedent. So
So
Yeah.
that is true, but also, genuinely it being a card,
yeah, it
unironically makes all the
changes
difference in the
everything.
world.
Yeah, yeah.
Like the fact that it is not. Leek, did you put any time into Pal World?
No, I didn't manage to pick it up.
That's right. Okay. Cool. I wasn't insane. So the reason why this is an issue is because they are using Pokeballs.
Mhm.
Straight up. Like
Ah,
it's
Yeah,
okay.
not the red
they're
on
just
it's
called
not
Pal balls.
yeah, it's not red on top, white on the
Ooh,
bottom.
okay.
It's just like an all blue version of a Pokeball.
Yeah.
That's why they lose this. If this actually goes to court, they lose this outright.
Ah, right.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um but again, I think it's worth noting that this is assumption. Uh At time of recording, I personally do not know all the charges, and last I checked, neither does Pocket Pair, which is very curious.
Well,
So
they've
they're at
not
least
announced that they know everything.
exactly. So they're at least keeping up. They're also keeping it hush hush. So no one knows what the actual issue is. All we know is that it's not copyright,
Mhm.
which is the easiest place for Nintendo to lose, and
Yeah.
the patents are much easier for them to win. And patent law is already kind of pedantic and ridiculous and allows for a lot of shenanigans that shouldn't exist. I will remind you all, and I don't think I've complained about it on this cast. I like Bandai Namco, but Bandai Namco made loading screens unbearable for about 20 years
No, yeah.
because Bandai Namco patented the ability to play games during a loading screen.
Ah.
Mhm.
I know this best from Tekken, specifically Tekken 5, where you could play
But
like a
also
star
Dragon Ball.
sim. Oh yeah, sure, exactly. They had like little mini games you could play during the loading
Yeah.
screens, and they
Yeah.
were the only company that was ever allowed to use it because patents. Another idea, this one I've seen a bunch of people talk about this one in particular, which is wild to me because I thought the loading screens was way more important back when loading screens took about 5 bloody minutes.
Mhm.
But the one that everyone seems to be talking about, which I mean, I have to concur with, if I'm honest, is the
Nemesis
bloody
engine?
hell, the Nemesis system from the Shadow of War game,
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
because WB patented and no one else can use it, and that's a really cool idea that now no one else can have a version of.
Mhm.
Now it should be mentioned you can always license it, but that's expensive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And that sort of
essentially,
thing that sort of thing sucks too, because if they never make another game in that franchise or ever use that
correct.
again, no one else can anyway. It just
It's
sucks.
just dead for 20 years.
Yeah, I think patent laws need to be changed.
I'm pretty sure everyone agrees with this, yeah.
Yeah. 'Cause,
Well, except for maybe the patent holders.
yeah, 'cause, like, patents are important, alright? Patents will force creativity between developers and stuff like that. But also, developers use patents as a way to stifle any competition at all whatsoever.
I'm
So
willing to say very specifically patents when it comes to interactive media need to be looked at separately. Like,
yeah.
because I don't think there's an issue for this in like hardware and other versions, but yeah, I know, right? I just want to talk. But like this is ridiculous. And with the speed at which this industry works, to have a chokehold on it is tantamount to having a small monopoly on an idea.
Hmm.
Not an IP, which is what makes all the difference in the world, but like this needs to be figured out.
Yeah, and like Pocket Pair has like an easy way to get around this because I assume uh I see we're since this isn't we're not in Japan or whatever. I don't really know how well that would go. I can see the catching with like pals in a ball and it wiggling 3 times. I can see that being easily being like the courts be like, yeah, okay, we this is patented or whatever. And that can be changed to like you just throw out a net to capture the pal, and you have percentages of chances of catching that pal or whatever. That they can
I'm
easily
sure
just
yeah,
change
they could
that.
do something creative. Sure, sure, sure.
Um, for the mounting system, I don't believe that should be able to be won in court because it's just mounting. You fuck Nintendo shouldn't be able to to patent mounting a horse.
Look, for all we know, this isn't the case.
Yeah.
But if it is, yeah, that's insanity. And but
Um.
it kind of does lend credence to the idea that it's not the case, because so many other games also have writing. I think this mostly just comes down to
I think it's
leveraging the
the ball.
idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, no, if it is the writing aspect, they're leveraging the idea that Pokemon is so well known that when people see this, they will
Hmm.
immediately go, "Oh yeah, no, clearly you're just aping Pokemon, and this is a system found therein. The Nintendo company has proven that. So clearly you're in the wrong." Like just because they're not taking them to task for copyright abuse of the Pokemon trademark doesn't mean that they can't use that maliciously.
Yeah.
Like human beings can only be so subjective.
Yeah. It's just dumb. I just suspect like Pocket Pair will be like, yeah, whatever. We'll just change them. It shouldn't be too hard to change how to catch pals in Pal World.
Yeah.
Um, and I'm assuming that's going to be like the only thing that Nintendo's really trying to hammer them on because the mounting. I just don't think they could get around the mountain system. Because that just it doesn't make sense. That's too broad, in my opinion. I can understand
Mhm.
catching stuff. Like, I mean, I agree with some people. Like catching catch yourself with like a ball or whatever is just a trap, and I guess using stuff as traps is also kind of broad or whatever. But you mean it doesn't have to be a ball, all right? Pocket Pair could just do something different. I think mounting is just too broad, so I think it
Well,
has to be just the ball thing.
well, I'm still waiting to hear what it actually is, and I'm sure eventually it will come out. I'll be interested if
Yeah,
either of these are the actual um, problem point. We'll see. This doesn't stay a secret forever. At some point, we
no,
will figure this out. Someone's going to let it
yeah.
slip. We know the Pocket Pair CEO is a giant troll anyway. He'll say
Hmm.
something, even if on accident. And once it's online, it's there for everyone to see.
Yep. Uh, well, we got some quick KH news apparently. Never thought I'd be seeing Kingdom Hearts
Oh
news.
yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. You take it
yeah,
away.
yeah. Tetsuya Nomura was at like a or like an event called Young Jump or whatever, and he was being interviewed.
Mhm.
Um, said KH4 is being made with the intention of newcomers to easily jump in. So I guess it's a you don't have to play the first 18 games. You can play this game or whatever and be just fine. I guess it's a new
I
saga.
do not believe him.
Yeah, I don't believe him either. Um, Quadratum isn't a one-to-one real-life replica of Tokyo. It is described
Mm.
as it feels like a
No
dream
surprise.
and a unreality in reality, based on
Enough
basically
to appeal
verses
familiar.
13, yeah, and
Yeah.
15, yeah.
You mean like a
Um,
far-off dream that's like a scattered
yeah,
memory?
scattered memory, yeah, like a scattered memories, like yeah. Missing Link story is being worked on by Square Enix staff members who haven't previously worked on Kingdom Hearts. Um,
I
to give it
have
a
hope
fresh take.
I hope they know what the story is, though.
Well,
'Cause that would not be the missing link at all.
well, he's doing this because he stated at some point in time that he
Has
would
he
like
become
to
self-aware?
he would like to retire
No,
soon.
he wants to retire
Oh.
eventually.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
So other people need to know
Understandable.
how to move through the density of the
Yeah.
series.
And he wants to make sure he can get Kingdom Hearts on a track that will end.
I
Because
hate to
he
say it,
yeah.
because for all of my criticisms of Kingdom Hearts, I like the first two games. And strictly just the first two games.
Yeah.
Um, but this could have been made so much simpler if, as a younger man, you thought for more than 2 seconds and said, let me not have this go on forever. Let me not try to make this
I am
Final Fantasy lengthed.
I am sure Disney had money behind it.
Okay, I recognize my phrasing. When I say things like this, because I say it about a fair few series, I don't mean the series should end. I mean the story, the narrative you're telling should end.
Mhm.
That way you can have a different story set in the same universe with all the same rule sets that you individually don't have to be attached to. You can allow
Yeah.
Yeah,
someone else to come in and tell a story now.
I think that's why he said he's trying to get the current Kingdom Hearts on a track to where
And
it
this
could
is why Final
end.
Fantasy is so good.
Mm.
So
Well,
he can
technically, they're different worlds and stuff. I think the most accurate thing, more accurate, I would say, to that would be one reason why I did enjoy Alien Romulus, because even though it's not directly, no, not super directly tied, but to the rest of them, it is a different situation.
True, yes.
They're just regular civs, they're regular people. They're not marines. They're not scientists or anything.
yeah,
Same universe, same aliens though.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, I like that comparison. I like it a lot.
yeah. Um, yeah, he's trying to get it on a track where it can end or whatever. So if he does retire, they'll be like, here, follow this. And if they make Kingdom Hearts stuff after that or whatever, it can just not follow Sora. He's just trying to get
Oh, and they
Sora's story at the
super
end.
will. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Wait,
he's trying to get Sora's
Almost
story at
like
the
you
end.
could have
So
done that with 3, my guy.
is
yeah,
the Alien
but
franchise owned by Disney now? Could they put that in Kingdom Hearts?
no, please, I
Is
don't.
what
I
owned
don't
by
even want to.
Disney?
I don't even think about
Alien.
18 things that could be in Kingdom Hearts.
Oh,
Or I
to be
know.
fair, yeah, we've talked about this at length. I don't like a lot of the new stuff that Disney owns ever showing up in Kingdom Hearts. Like,
Yeah,
imagine the Mandalorian in Kingdom
I don't even want to think about it.
Hearts.
Nomura also stated that he watches Kingdom Hearts YouTube videos to stay refreshed on KH's extensive story details. Um, my
Does he
guy,
mean
this is
recently?
your
There's
fault.
no way. Yeah, there's no way he's been like a major part of the community for that long. He'd know he certain games couldn't be the way they are if that's the case. I do, however, think that maybe in the last few years, especially after 3, or maybe even during the course of 3, I could see them referring back to the
Yeah.
community. But I think this is a recent thing.
hmm and lastly, there is a meaning behind Sora's famous line that he says at the beginning of KH1. Is any of this real or not? And it will eventually be explained. And I'm just like,
I
God,
can
come
actually
on.
confirm this. He's
Yeah.
actually this is one of the few things that I can't give him shit over. He's
Oh.
been saying this since Kingdom Hearts 1. Like those words were never Sora's, and he's been waiting for a way to introduce who they are. Now, I don't think it was ever meant to be this guy.
Yeah.
Um, what's his name? Aqua.
What do you mean?
The not Riku, the guy with the crossbow.
Oh, I forget what it is. Oh,
Yuzora. I don't think it was
Yazora,
ever
yeah.
meant to be Yuzora, but it was always meant to be attached to another character that Sora's going to meet. This was a bit of concept that I remember learning years ago.
But
I want to say it was attached to Kingdom Hearts 1, maybe to Kingdom Hearts 2, but I'm pretty sure it was KH1. Thank you, Andy.
yeah, I'm not 100% sure. It's whatever.
Yeah, look, I am not very knowledgeable about Kingdom Hearts as a whole, but if you get into the Kingdom Hearts 1 concept stuff, I know an awkward amount.
It's too. Mm, mm, I'm.
Interesting.
It's
So
Yo Zora. Yo Zora,
I have no
actually.
idea who
Yeah,
that
yeah,
character
Zora.
is. Ha ha
Eh,
ha
No, it's
ha.
I
Yuzora!
Nope,
it's Yo
doesn't ring a bell.
Zora. Y
They all look the
O O R
Rex.
A.
Kinda, actually. He does, he, like, I don't know. I know it's not the art team's fault. The art team actually does a tremendous job in
Oh
Kingdom
no, it's
Hearts,
because
but
they're all different versions of each other or something.
exactly, exactly. But
Yeah.
the concept of all these characters drives me insane. You're absolutely right, because they're all attached to each other.
Yeah.
Yep.
Everyone's been inside Sora. Pause.
I do like the thing that is like basically, yeah, this line, I planned something for this since the beginning. Totally. Honestly. It is all planned. It's all I'm not making this up.
Anyway, that's the KH news. Um,
It's ending. It's finally ending.
yeah, it's finally ending.
Oh,
Yeah.
well.
Um, but you know what? you know what else ended?
But
Concord.
It sure did.
ooh.
um, so Colin
Yeah.
Moriarty, he's actually a games journalist I've followed for quite a while, actually, because he did a lot of
Well,
good he did
isn't
Tales
he not a
reviews.
game journalist anymore?
No, I
Hasn't he
said
retired
was.
from that?
So
Oh, okay,
was.
I'm sorry, I misheard you. I misheard you. I heard
Yeah,
is, and there's a big difference in this
he
one.
was. He used to work for IGN, and he did Tales reviews when they came out, and like covered like a lot of JRPG news. So I followed his stuff. I don't exactly know what he does now, but he obviously still has like people in the industry that he talks to, because he revealed that he had talked to at least one person that was on the Concord team, and revealed that Concord's budget was over $400 million, and talked about how it uh, it was apparently the future of PlayStation, how it was like it was a Star Wars level project, and how there was a lot of toxic positivity around it in the company, enough to where people could not talk about it during development. They had any misgivings towards the game. So
Actual insanity.
That is crazy though.
400 apparently it was already $200 million in the hole before Sony picked it up.
No, but that makes
Oh
wait.
my
Or
god.
Sony? I thought
Before, no,
they
it was before,
oh
because Sony put in another 200 million.
yes, that I knew. Um
Like to force a dev team to be yes men is kind of, I mean, as you can see, is created a steaming pile of unmentionable. So
oh 100%. Like I don't know. I don't know about this at all. Like $400 million is insanity, and I cannot fathom how we got here. Like
we were
you've
we
explained it,
yeah.
and I still don't get it. Like
We were all thinking like, oh, they put in like 150 million in it, and that's way too much. Nope, 400 million. That's
no,
that's just
I'm I'm gonna be honest.
irreprehensible.
I did think it was 200 million because it was Sony first party game, and that we unfortunately know that that's how much money they waste on games.
Yeah.
So I was expecting 200 million, but to hear that that was doubled is insane. And to know the reason why it was doubled is frustrating as hell. That
Just to get
okay,
it to
that is what
viability.
kills me.
Just to get it
So
to viability.
they put out a bunch of closed betas that no one enjoyed. Well, no one enjoyed.
Hmm.
Everyone, like, people gave them feedback, and a little bit of feedback was taken, but they then put it out to the open public. No one played it. Those that did had nothing good to say about it, and they still launched a month later. This idea of betas happening in an unrealistic amount of time for any of the feedback to be taken on board and seen to is insanity and needs to end.
Yeah, that's
And
really
to know
bad.
that, and in most cases, I can brush it off and say, "You know what? It was just they called it a beta, but it was a demo. Any information taken on will be seen to in future updates. Will be seen to in the
Yeah.
first 2 or 3 patches." But the fact that Sony's response wasn't, "Let's delay, let's see what's going on, and we'll give it another go," but instead to throw $200 million at it.
Yep.
I can only
What?
imagine from the dev side how frustrating it would have been for the devs as well. Like,
They must
like,
feel
not
insane.
yeah, they must be, like, really, because they like, from basically the bottom up, because obviously you do have QA testers and stuff. They was most certainly would have reported things because there is a system for that. They probably would have gotten ignored. There's obviously the juniors and stuff like that who probably did have good ideas and comments and stuff. They probably were ignored. And then you got some of the higher ups and the leads and stuff. They probably were ignored, just told to just
Mhm.
do their job. Meetings. I can't imagine how the meetings went.
Oh, I can, because
Ooh.
something
I
something
mean,
that was
it's rhetorical in the way I say it, but yeah, I
no,
know.
no,
I
s
I
special
oh,
special piece of information here,
oh, yeah?
because I had a guess on this, and I was fucking wrong. I
Oh,
thought this was a flying Jim Ryan game,
uh-huh.
Nope.
because he was the head honcho at the time, right? What I was
Yeah.
unaware of was that Herman Holtz, the current CEO, was head of PlayStation Studios at the time. He was doing the game stuff. The current
He,
CEO is what led to this.
yeah. He's the
Ah.
one that signed off on he's the one that wanted Firewalk because of
Yeah.
because of
I th
Concord.
Now, granted, I think wanting this studio, even if you don't like what they produce, wanting the studio makes a lot of sense to me. They clearly have a lot of talent, and we're able
Mhm.
to transition a lot of ideas from other games to a brand new IP. I think that's fine. However, to hear that he was the biggest cheerleader and he was like a big part of this whole toxic positivity, this is going to be Star Wars, this is going to be our
Yeah,
big, like, what defines us for the next forever. That's terrifying. Because
Yep.
as head of PlayStation Studios, that's bad enough, because
mhm,
that's literally your job. Now as head of the CEO, I feel that this genuinely brings in to consideration his ability to make good decisions, both financially and creatively for the company.
Yep.
yeah,
And
and,
it's one thing to have a failure, it's
yeah,
another thing to be $400 million in the hole day one of your job.
yeah.
Mhm.
I'm also wondering what the team turnover was too. Because if it's toxic positivity, that means anyone that did speak up about it was probably considered a troublemaker.
Yep.
Or not,
Possibly.
or didn't gel well with the team.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
do
Yeah,
this
it
in
could
air
be.
quotes.
Yeah, yeah.
Immediately reported, "Hey, this person doesn't like me because he thought my idea was bad or
No, they would
gave
be
me
labeled as not
any small criticism."
well, the lingo is not a team player, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
not a
yeah,
team
Not
yeah.
player.
a team player.
No, put them on so and so and get them away from the main team. Let them work on this while we actually progress the project.
Yeah,
They would have been either. I don't know that you get fired for that, but man, you're gonna hate your job for a bit.
Mhm.
yeah,
Um, People seem to think that like Firewalk's gonna be shuttered and they're going to. I don't think you can this talent, because at the end of the day, despite the game having so many flaws and being kind of underbaked, I think if I think with the right direction, this team is capable of making absolute bangers. I think maybe they need direction. But again, as far as gameplay goes, everyone was kind of lukewarm. They're like, "This is fine. We're just not impressed by it." And like everyone was basically comparing like, "This is just Destiny gameplay. This is just X and Y gameplay."
Mhm.
But to me, that's a good thing because they named a bunch of games that are highly sought after. And like I immediately understood why Sony saw that as tantalizing. So I don't think you lose the devs. I think QAs are fucked because QA always gets fucked. And I think that I don't know what else.
Mm.
It's not good though. But I think you have to keep Firewalk. You certainly don't shutter the studio. But if you get rid of the devs, why bother keep the studio at that point?
Yeah, I'd hate it if it led to just a whole studio gone.
Brand new studio, by the way.
Yeah.
Yep.
Can you imagine? They've all left previous employment where they weren't happy or they were let go. Started what could have been a very successful endeavor, only to be immediately bought by Sony and then possibly dismantled.
Yeah, that'd be tragic.
I just need Sony to take what Square says it's going to do and take like 3 steps back and start putting out easy winners. Get some established IPs going, make some cheaper games that can afford to be duds, or at least just not do COD numbers, and just stay away from live services for a bit. Like until something happens and they have a better understanding. Because this whole push that Jim Ryan had is not working out, and having Bungie be your testers, your like in-house, is it worthwhile testers, clearly isn't doing anything to help you.
Yeah.
Bungie is currently having issues keeping Bungie relevant. They can now not help you make like other games to be the next Destiny.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Besides, Bungie's like three-quarters of what no, a quarter of what it was when it was
Yeah, yeah,
bought.
but she's literally a quarter of what it was. So, uh, well,
Big L's for Square. Or big L's for Sony.
Yeah.
but big W's for Cristiano Ronaldo being in Fatal
Jesus.
Fury.
Oh,
What
that's
does
so
it
funny.
mean?
Now I have to. I mean, I told the boyos this too, but um, so Ronaldo in Japan is famous, right? He's visited there a few times. He's had loads and loads of interviews. He's been in adverts and so on. He is a celebrity in Japan, So from this side of the world, it's not too surprising that a celebrity is in this, although it's clearly like not one you would still jump to think in a fighting game, right?
No.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were wondering why. Like,
And
even
like
I was
they had
wondering
this
why.
they had this big announcement, big old footy field, big old number 7 on all the jumbotrons. And they're like, yeah, that's Ronaldo. Uh is SNK making another sports game? Boom, Fatal Fury, City of the Wolves.
Yeah.
Wait, is
Now
Terry gonna fight Ronaldo?
he's
What?
gonna be throwing feet. Fucking Cristiano Ronaldo's gonna be throwing feet, man.
That's so
I
funny.
look, I mean, look, we've seen sports themed characters in SNK games before, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like Rival Schools is like a school-based one. You have the whole various sports teams. I don't see it. I'm hoping that he's coming in as like a special skin another character will wear, and he's providing voiceover and maybe did some mocap for their moves. Maybe they do some soccer player stuff and like their special win quote or entrance is them juggling a football. I don't know. This is this is weird. Even for Ronaldo, this is a
Yeah.
choice.
Yep. But it's
Hope
funny.
it's good though.
Yeah.
Best bit is
Yeah.
I was looking it up. People still aren't sure what's going on.
Well, we were talking about it, right? Well, in text, right? But we were thinking maybe mocap, maybe voice
Yeah.
lending and stuff like that. We'll
It's
That'd be
just
see.
fun.
it is the most logical use of Ronaldo. I mean, I guess maybe you could make a character look like him and bring him in for like a face. God, that'd be expensive. Oh, can you imagine the royalties you have to pay out?
Yep.
I don't know. I don't know, man. It's weird.
I mean, look forward to whooping up on Terry with Cristiano Ronaldo, man. Beating him up, smacking him down, kicking them soccer balls at him. That's just
And
gonna
then
be
crying.
funny. And then crying, yeah. Um,
I mean, to be fair, he's a footy player, so the moment that anyone even like lightly brushes up against him, he's gonna be on the ground rolling over.
oh yeah, true.
Yeah.
God, could you imagine that's a taunt?
Oh, that would be
Yes,
so
yes, I
funny
can.
though! That
I
would
can
be so funny.
absolutely imagine this.
Uh,
Looks up, there's just a referee in the corner throwing a yellow card at your opponent.
um,
God, not a taunt. I'd make that a super. That'd be hilarious.
It would be very funny. He
Then he
goes
just
in
gets up and looks
pretending.
smug.
Yeah, no, it'd be like part of his super. It'd be like you think he's fallen, and the character goes near him. He's like rolling on the floor, but then he knocks you down and does something else. Psych.
Ah, they've missed. Okay, I don't know how many people would even like. I'm sure people who like watch football remember this. Getting Ronaldo's all really good. He's super popular, very handsome man. They should have got Zidane because his super could have been the headbutt to the chest.
Ah.
Like, just call it a red card.
uh, uh, Tales of Grace's F remastered. It's gonna have it's gonna feature newly English dubbed skits. So some of the skits that I guess weren't dubbed, or maybe just they're just new skits. I think it's the there are some skits that were in the JP version that weren't in the English version, and I think it was skits used to advertise the PlayStation 3, if I
Hmm.
recall correctly. I think those are the skits they're probably talking about. I don't know if there's going to be any new like skits.
Oh
Anyway,
god.
they're gonna
I
have
was just
returning
thinking,
casts.
I hope you don't get Uried.
No, so they're gonna have returning casts, right? Pretty much everybody.
Yes.
Uh, Alexis Tipton will be taking over Laura
I
Bailey's
don't know who the
role as as
Okay.
Sharia.
Okay.
For those skits. So yeah, obviously it'll still be like the original cast for like the main game, or like they're not redubbing the main game or whatever, but just for the new stuff that's English voiced. The rest of the cast is going to be in there. It's just Alexis Tipton. She voices characters like uh she voices Muse and Trails.
Mhm.
She voices God, there was there's a character in Fairy Tale she voices, and I can't remember which one. I think it's Miliana, the cat girl or whatever. She voices a bunch of characters. She also works with I think she's working alongside Amber as like directors for Zenless Zone Zero. So
Oh, I think you're right, yeah. I just know
uh,
she's, like, the engineer girl in My Hero.
yeah, yeah.
I think she might also be Trunks, but I might be
Oh
wrong
yeah,
about that.
yeah. She took
So
over Laura Bailey's
yes,
position as
so I was
Trunks.
about to
Yeah,
say, this isn't the first time she's had to stand in for Laura. And yeah,
yeah.
I just looked it up. She's actually also current Lucina. So she is just the go-to currently for Laura, who
Hmm.
is
Yeah,
taking more and more steps away from constant voiceover. So this is
yeah,
probably for the best.
yeah. So we won't have anything as egregious as Troy Baker to George Grant.
I
Um,
either would be fine. Pick one. You can't have both. It ruined the game for me.
uh, and it's just going to be because in most of I think most of Grace's F stuff was voiced anyway, so they're just going to take the original uh audio that was in the game anyway, and just
Sounds
use it.
good.
It's just for the new stuff.
Yeah.
So, so that's good. I'm happy they didn't. I they didn't say there was going to be newly voiced lines in the game, because obviously there are lines in the game that aren't voiced. So hopefully they're not going to take the same route as the
Bandai
definitive. But
America, if you can't get the actors, just don't dub over the lines. Just
yeah,
give us the game. Give us the game with all the new stuff, the way it was presented back then. It's just no one will care. No one will
hmm
care.
that being said, I think Alexis is a better voice match for Laura than George Grant was for Troy Baker.
It's so bad. It's so bad. Like
uh, you,
not to take anything away from Grant George. He's fine. But like against I understand Matthew wasn't gonna do it. I understand Mercer does like did for whatever reason took immense offense at being a stand-in for Troy Baker, but
Ooh.
you had to do better.
like I was fine. I was fine with Mercer being like, I don't want to be discounting Troy Baker. All right,
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
that's
yeah.
that's
Makes
fine.
I
I
complete
am
understand
sense.
it.
I am fine with that. He chose the wrong game to do it on.
Of all the times, but if you come, if you, I wish you said this is it. This is the last time. Never again,
Yeah, yeah,
unless it's like Higgs or something, and I get to work with Kojima.
yeah. I was like, he chose the wrong game.
But even then, I'm still disinclined to like bury Mercer for this. Like this is Bandai Namco's fault for not
Yeah,
just taking the extra time. It would have been 2 days, maybe 3 days of work, and just letting Grant George redub the role.
yeah. Um, but yeah, it won't be as like if they do any like extra voice work or whatever, and it goes from you hearing Laura Bailey to you hearing Alexis Tipton. I don't think it'll be as jarring.
Yeah, fair, fair, fair. Also,
Um,
I know nothing of this voice cast anymore. Like I know all the actors, I don't remember what any of these characters sound like.
Hmm.
yeah. I mean, you can already I mean you
With the
you
exception
don't
of
have
one, because he doesn't know how to do anything else with his voice.
yeah, I was about to be like I was like you don't have to imagine anything about Asbel. It's just that
Yeah,
guy we all
it's
hate.
just Pappenbrook. Yeah.
Yeah.
The one thing is he
Uh,
just does the one thing.
yeah. Um yeah, that's cool. I'm looking forward to Tales of Grace stuff, and but I'm looking more forward to Zillia and Zillia 2 whenever they get their remasters announced. So that'll be great. Next up, and the last thing before our state of play section. So Ubisoft canceled all press previews of Assassin's Creed Shadow until further notice, and
Yeah.
this is including their showcase
That's
at Tokyo Game Show.
oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
They definitely should not show up in Tokyo right now. There will
Oh.
Uh,
be crazy people out there for them.
yeah. To add
I
on
did
to that,
why.
well,
I'm not sure if what you're about to
Japan
say
does
also
not
is
like
true.
Japan
Okay,
does
this is
not
true though. This
like
is flat out on.
Japan does not like Assassin's Creed Shadow at all.
Yeah,
The
nothing
majority of
about
Japan
this.
thinks that this is a huge appropriation of Japanese culture. Period.
Really?
100%.
I'm
Oh
so
yeah.
Yes.
confused. I've not heard about this.
Um.
Interesting.
So it should be mentioned that all of Japan in this instance just refers to a bunch of boards. So
Is it if it's
Mhm,
like
yeah.
Ni-chan, that's like 4chan, so don't
exactly, like yeah,
ignore
no, that's
them.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like there's a bunch of like
Yeah.
If it's
daily boards.
Ni-chan, okay.
I
Yeah.
doubt it's. I doubt anyone. I doubt any company would make a move based off of a board like that. My fears are that this is a bit broader in scope and probably deals with a lot of more casual communities that aren't known to be so combative.
Mhm.
Um, there seems to be a lot of
Uh-huh.
hubbub about the most recent thing, though, which is why I heard a lot of people saying, "Oh, it's because of this," and I was like, "I don't think it's because of. I think this
And
is
I
just
don't.
the straw
It's
that
not.
broke
If
the
it's
camel's
about
back."
it's about if it's about a certain samurai, that's fine, because he did exist, and
No, no, no,
he's
no.
in an animation and stuff like that. That
Yeah,
was shown
No,
in Japan.
it's not
I'm
about Yasuke.
sure.
Yasuke's
Well,
like
I'm
No.
sure a little
Yasuke's
bit.
a small percentage of what the issue is.
Exactly,
Okay, I wonder what the
exactly.
issue is then.
Uh,
Because
eh,
Isle of Tsushima was really well received.
yeah,
Well, remember,
but
this is a
that's
different
Sucker Punch,
company.
and Sucker Punch is a really good
Yeah.
studio.
Yeah.
So
So,
Ubisoft apparently, and I learned this today, apparently, Ubisoft just does not have a good reputation with Japanese like
Oh,
hardcore gamers
okay.
already.
mhm,
Which
yeah,
I mean, it sounds like you're like me. I didn't know this. I didn't realize Ubisoft had done enough to do with Japan to garner this reputation. But there was a lot of chat about the blatant disrespect to the culture, the lack of reading done, which is surprising because I think I said this to Matthew and Nat. Ubisoft's historical recreations of locations is immaculate,
mhm,
but they have never once ever said the characters as shown are representative of what they were during the time period. They've always shown off the characters as being of their creation. These are
yeah.
based on historical figures. These are not how they were actually depicted. So
If that's the problem, that confuses me too, because there's things like Fate that exists in Japan.
that's what
Well,
I'm saying. Oh my god!
well,
Like, so I'm not. The most recent thing is a figure with a broken torii gate, which is admittedly that's kind of stupid. Ubisoft, like that's a religious symbol. Maybe don't do that.
mhm,
And
Oh,
it's
yeah,
just
yeah.
there to look, and it's just there to look cool, right? To have Naoe jumping off the top and Yasuke below it, and it's just a half torii gate because presumably they didn't want to 3D print a full one,
mhm.
so they broke it. Um, and people were comparing it to
The
uh,
one-legged Tory Gate,
the one-legged
which is
torii gates,
the
plural. No,
only
plural. They're all
wait.
over. They're all over Nagasaki. The problem is they're all over Nagasaki.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean that the Nagasaki ones are the only ones that are depicted as like a broken in half Tory
Yes.
Gate.
Yeah.
Um.
I
So people
see.
are
So there
people
is
are getting
okay, I get it now. Because there are certain things from particularly Nagasaki and Hiroshima that is very sensitive
Mhm.
to
yes.
for folks, and if they just slap them around willy nilly without even considering the context of why all the history, I can understand why
Yeah.
people are pissed.
That said, this isn't going to be in game. This is just
Yeah.
a piece of
Just a figure.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't say promotional arc. Yeah, thank you. It's a figure. So
Okay.
I can't imagine this is what's causing all of that, especially like I said, with with what I dug up today, people seem to have this feels like okay, we finally can prove that Ubisoft doesn't like Japan. It's like, oh, so you've been harboring these feelings for a while.
Yeah.
Weird.
Interesting.
And I can't
Uh
I haven't been able to dig up like patient zero. I don't know why this belief took hold.
Hmm.
But yeah, Aqua, you put it pretty well. Like, come on, Ubisoft, this is silly. This was an easy mistake to not make this most recent thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
it's so easy to make a Japanese game. It is easy. There are certain things you don't screw with, all right? You just you just do the research, all right? And
Even
obviously the
better
people that have
still,
seen
you get a Japanese citizen who is well versed and an expert to be on your team.
yeah, you get a representative from Japan, all right, and be like, "Okay,
I
this
Yes,
is
I can't prove this. I can't, but I assume they did.
I do hope they fucking did.
I don't know.
Like
I don't know.
think
Ubisoft's
about
one of those companies
everything,
I could believe they didn't.
but think about every other Assassin's Creed game now. This would be the one that doesn't make sense. Every other one has been so historically spot on locale wise, maybe not character wise, but locale wise, right?
Mhm.
And there's been, like, lesser controversies of the Egyptians being too dark, being too light, depending on which side you're on. But that's about it. Like, I don't like
Maybe they
Ubisoft.
got the
I
wrong
have a
person.
l it could be. Look, that was one of the things I read was, like, there are Japanese folks inside Ubisoft trying to, offend people. It's like, "Ah,
Oh
alright."
yeah.
Um, but yeah, like, this it just feels really weird to me. I just feel like I'm gonna offend people. I feel like I feel like there is too much DEI for the Japanese in this game. And I'm not throwing around that term as an insult. I genuinely think there is too much stuff that is not purely Japanese about this
Yeah.
Japanese Warring States era game. And that combined with other missteps, like the most recent one, which is admittedly very fucking offensive for several reasons,
Hmm.
has caused issues with Shadows in particular.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Um,
think one of the main issues is that the one game that people were asking for was a Japanese centric Assassin's Creed game, and one of your main characters isn't Japanese.
I genuinely believe this.
Yeah.
And I said this because I dig the yacht.
Yeah, I dig Yasuke
We
as
have
well.
enjoyed we've enjoyed this together, being dark and being into being into Japan and such. But I did say this: Yubi does good work when it comes to history, but it never really focuses on the characters. A small part of me does understand, if this is the case, why this reaction is coming. You do have horrific racists in the West that just don't wanna see a black guy in Japan. That's
Hmm.
facts. But I do understand that if you were a Japanese player, you have Naoe, who is not a historical figure, she is meant for the game, she's our Ezio,
Yeah.
and they had an opportunity to let you play as Hideyoshi, to play as Nobunaga himself,
Yeah.
to play as any number of warring states, historical figures, and they
But they picked the
chose
one not
the
national
foreigner.
character. Yeah.
And I think the three of us can understand, well, they probably did that for a reason. They probably did that to portray the fish out of water.
Yeah, but I have read on a few boards, I mean, and also comment sections that there are folks from Japan defending the decision and saying, "Yeah, no,
Yes.
he is a historical figure."
Well, yeah, they're not all 100% all for
No, I'm
like
not
Yeah.
again, I'm not blaming all of a nation. I'm just
Yeah.
saying the
yeah.
loud voices.
I'm just
Um
so surprised it's gotten this reaction.
Yeah, what blows like, I expected this game to get panned immediately because in the samurai game, your samurai was black. I expected a lot of hateful people to come out of nowhere and have strong opinions about that. Um, I didn't expect it to be enough people in the home nation to have Ubisoft back out of everything
Yeah.
Yeah,
because
that's what I'm surprised about.
and I feel personally that's telling.
Yeah.
Unlike a lot of times where you can just blame the people being horrifically awful. This time, it feels like Ubisoft, like, I don't know, they came to an understanding a little late, but they understand that maybe it's us. Maybe we're wrong.
Yeah, yeah, they've definitely royally fucked up somewhere for this for this.
So, for a game that comes out next month, there might be an asterisk on that now.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It might get
And
delayed, there might be changes made. It's still gonna come out, like, this game is done, and it's been done for
yeah.
months. So
Yeah.
this game's coming out because 'cause they're not throwing all this away. I don't know if this game just won't come out in Japan for fear of the blowback or
Yeah,
if
that might end up being the case, but it sounds like.
which is
Well,
wild.
yeah. What I'll probably try and do then is try to research this Japan side.
Yes, please, please, because it's
Yeah.
terribly difficult for me to find things. Half the stuff I find is clearly in bad faith. The other half I lack the appropriate context. Or actually, the first third is just in bad faith. The second third, I lack context, and the third, I don't understand. I literally cannot read. So
Yeah.
it's been very difficult for me to figure out where this is coming from because there's a lot of stuff that I understood differently um, up until this moment.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just all that stuff, and then it just ends up feeling extremely more tone deaf just due to the figure.
Now
So
I'm gonna be honest. If I was John Ubisoft, or sorry, if I was
uh,
Jean Ubisoft, uh, I'm going to be
his name's
honest.
Guillemot.
Well, no, that's Yves Guillemot. Like I know who owns it. I'm just being funny. Like, but
Yeah.
if I was John Ubisoft, decision maker at Ubisoft, I will say I wouldn't have made Yasuke one of the dual pro tags. I would have absolutely had him be in the game
Yeah.
as acting retainer to Nobunaga, and I would have had you interact with him. But I would have seen this coming, and I said as much to a bunch of other people. This, whilst cool to someone like me and other people who like to see this character get their flowers, this is the easiest, like, this is the easiest controversy to see coming. On top of that, what the fuck? Just put a full Tory gate on that figure, or don't use a Tory gate at all.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
You
I'm just
100%
unsure
was
May-
why.
the cheapest possible ways to
yeah,
accidentally insult a nation.
I just being the smart thing. We understand, like maybe they don't understand this. Shintoism is a religion.
Mm.
Maybe we, on principle, don't use religious imagery that we're not 100% on.
Yeah.
And it's
As
to
I said, get a cultural coordinator, cultural sensitivity coordinator,
it
anyone,
just
an expert.
I have to assume they did. I mean, yes, I absolutely would have, like 100%, but like, can you imagine if this is all because they just didn't have the foresight to get experts in the field from the nation that they are referencing
Hmm.
directly?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know, man. Like
I don't
this
know.
is a lot of stuff that could have been avoided. This
Yeah,
was
Yeah,
stupid.
sounds like
I'm just like I just like I don't understand. I think Japan's probably one of the easiest like settings to like make a game of. There's so much insane rich history. If you wanted a samurai, you have like a long list of famous samurai.
And they've chosen such a spectacular period.
Yeah.
Imagine if the samurai they chose was a young Masamune, a young Date.
Yeah. Yeah. They could have done so many other people.
What if the samurai was the Tiger of Kai? Like, there's so many good choices. Jeez, like as a fucking Westerner who isn't even that deep into the weebism, I know this.
Ugh. It's tough. It's tough, man. I don't know. But yeah, um, Assassin's Creed Shadow out next month or in November, right? It's November, right? Is it
Asterisk.
October? Assassin.
I think it is November. I think I misspoke.
Yeah.
I think it is in November. All right,
Yeah.
slash rant.
Asterisk. Yeah. Slash.
I didn't mean to go on
November
for so
12th.
long. This is just stupid.
November 12th. Uh but now we get to get into what happened today. State of play.
Hey,
I will
I'm
go ahead and
excited.
say I'll give my grade on this. This was like uh an A minus.
Oh,
I genuinely think with my
There's a
horrific
couple of good
biases,
things
A
in this.
minus is good.
There's a couple of really good things
Yeah.
in this one, and
I
Yeah.
agree.
I'm surprised at it after the extremely tone deaf PlayStation 5 Pro announcement a couple weeks ago. So, I'm like, what are they even going to talk about? um. Anyway, yeah, there's a state of play today.
Mhm.
They showed off a lot of stuff, and most of it's pretty good. They first started off with the Astrobot free update. Still have not played Astrobot yet,
Astrobot. I'm
but
gonna though.
yeah, I'm gonna as well. They're adding Stellar Blade and Helldiver stuff, so that's cool.
It's so cute. Enjoying the video? Remember to like and sub. Helps out the channel a bunch, and we're grateful for everyone we get.
uh, this was before I even looked at because I totally forgot there was a state of play. I didn't start watching state of play until like 6 minutes after it started. I had not seen what
Mm,
Midnight Walk is. All in other than it's a claymation suspense. So I have no idea
yeah.
what Midnight Walk is.
And what's worse is you're not going to, because this is from a brand new studio, so I have no idea what to direct you to give you a
Mm,
feel for this game. It
Hmm.
okay.
is pretty unique unto itself. I mean, I I also don't play a whole lot of games like this, so I mean, maybe it's closer to something like Little Nightmares than I think, but this looks pretty unique.
Yeah,
Claymation is a very interesting choice
it's a
for a
VR
game.
game.
It
Oh,
also is VR. I don't know if it's gonna be VR solamente or if it's gonna be like VR, but you can play a standard version.
Yeah, it's for PS5 and PSVR 2
Yes.
okay. So
by
yeah,
Moon
Liquid
it'll
Studios.
have a non-VR
yes.
version. So
It looks very
Yeah,
nice though.
it does. I'm very taken with the art style.
yeah. Hell is Us. It was an action thriller. This is like when I came in to actually watch the state of play. This looks actually really interesting. Um, its gameplay is very like I'm not gonna say it's like, oh god man, I hate even like trying to say this. It's, I guess, more akin to kind of Soulsy, but not or whatever. Looks like it controls a little bit more fluid than Souls does or whatever. But it's a third person action thriller. So there's a lot of weird shit in it. There's uh an enemy that has a whole face. So I know, um pretty sure Shell could not touch this game just because of that thing.
Oh,
Yeah,
trypophobia
I
inducing, is it?
don't think this will trigger a tryptophobia. Um, I think they were going more for I keep wanting to say Satoshi Kon. No, Junji Ito vibe.
Yeah, Junji
Oh.
Ito. I see.
With like the giant, just like a giant hole in the head.
Is it just
And
one big hole?
it's just one big hole in
Oh,
a,
then that's
like,
fine. It won't set off
yeah,
trypophobia.
it's not like a person either. It's just person shaped. It's weird and it's weird on purpose.
Hmm.
I think we'd seen this game back in shit, 2021, 2022. Or
Possibly.
we hadn't seen anything. I think this game was initially brought forward around then. Because the name, maybe not the name, something about this reminds me of a game I saw years ago. And I can't put my finger on it. So I might be wrong, but clearly this game's been in development for a while, so it's very likely this is not actually the reveal.
Yeah. It looks extremely interesting. It looks like it has a bunch of puzzle stuff in it. There's I guess it's kind of more hack and slashy. Um, because you do end up going up against a decent amount of enemies at once. Um, it just looks weird. I don't know. It looks interesting to me. I kind of get Returnal vibes from it,
I
honestly.
was I was thinking like I could see this kind of remind me of like a melee control.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, that
It
makes
felt
sense.
Remedy-esque.
Yeah. Yeah. Hell is Us looks pretty cool. It's developed by Rogue Factor and
Rogue Factor.
Nacon, and I think Nacon's the publisher for it.
Oh, I
Um,
didn't know about Nikon. Fair enough.
but it says 2025 for that. Uh, Next is Metro Awakening VR. It's a Metro game. It's a VR game. November 7th.
Yeah.
That's all I have to say. If you liked Metro Exodus or something like that, you'd probably like this game, but it's like VR version of it. So Next after that we had Archage Chronicles.
Yeah, you said
fantasy.
werewolf.
Yeah,
There
yeah.
was a brief
Werewolf?
werewolf boss character. I couldn't say. I don't know.
Werewolf.
This
This
comes from the
game looks
studio
good.
Excel Games that makes the arcade games, but I don't know anything about
Yeah.
them.
I don't know anything about Archage either, but I do know that this is like an online action game. Which looks sick. Sick. Online action fantasy. I might actually be interested in this.
Yeah, is this the one where you have factions and stuff, and you have to basically fight over
Maybe
areas?
I
Archage,
think
like normal
no. I
Archage might be that.
think
Is that
no.
something else?
I think you're
I think of the
referencing because
MMO.
yeah,
Yeah.
of what's it called? Throne and Liberty, which is coming out
Oh yeah, Throne of
recently.
Liberty, yeah,
Because that
yeah.
did have like a faction guildy fight for stuff thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I did
Oh no,
think
it's
that's
like
what this
it's perhaps
was
playing
at the very
Conquer.
beginning.
You do Conquer. Okay.
Mm, yeah, that's what I thought this was at first. But other than that, I mean, maybe you were
You do.
thinking of this.
You do.
Maybe the
You know,
arcade.
in arcades you do Conquer places.
Oh, you do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I
Uh,
see. So it's not an MMO. It's a standalone,
it's
single player.
Unclear.
unclear, but it does have an online element. It looks like possibly like a mission boss space structure for the
Mm,
online stuff. So
okay.
and it looks like you have like multiple people playing, so like at least three in like a fight or something like that. So I mean,
Okay.
it looked really cool. I would like to see more of this. I would like to see how the game like actually plays, because
Yeah,
it's
gameplay was
very
just going to make a big
actiony.
difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agreed. Yeah, agreed for sure.
Um. So that was pretty cool. Power World PS5. So
It was only ever a
uh
matter of time.
yeah.
Shame about the timing, but what are you gonna do?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, they wouldn't stop it coming out, really, would they?
No,
During
they
the
wouldn't. Yeah.
court
No, I don't think
proceeding?
they would.
No.
No.
No, no,
No.
no, no.
No. Seaver's gonna probably gonna be pretty happy. Lunar is getting a remaster collection. He talks about that game like 18 times like a day, I'm pretty sure.
Anytime you can bring it up, this is true.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. There's a remaster for that. Shredder's Revenge is getting a DLC.
Yeah, that's a
Yes,
good game. That's a very
You care?
fun game.
Yeah, I really like Shredder's Revenge. I was like I was like, damn, a new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles game that looks really good. So I beat Shredder's Revenge. So
Yeah,
you
it's
get new
great.
characters. OSD update out today. So that's cool. Sonic X Shadow Generations is getting a movie pack where you get to play as Keanu Reeves' Shadow.
Oh, what a choice!
You get a
Yeah.
voice pack. That's so good.
And you get it
Wait,
3 days early.
it's not just a voice pack. You get to actually play like a specific part of the movie.
No, like actual levels. Yeah,
Yeah,
Oh,
actual
that's great.
levels designed around movie Sonic.
Oh,
yeah,
nice.
yeah. So
So like
I
we
need to
are
actually
genuinely
watch the
getting the
Sonic movies.
Generations vibe.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, okay.
I need to actually watch the Sonic movies. I have not watched a single one.
They're good. They're
Yeah, I know.
good. They're so fun.
Yeah, everything after
Uh,
that first trailer seems to have gone over really well.
yeah.
I'm excited for the next one.
Yeah, I am too. Actually, I just need to like take a night and watch 1 and 2, so I can prepare to watch 3.
I liked one. I
Ne-
haven't watched 2 yet.
It's good.
yeah, yeah.
Very, very good.
Neo
That's fun.
Fantasian,
Mm.
Sakaguchi's game that came out
Yes,
on the
Fantasia.
Apple Arcade or whatever. Uh, got a release date trailer today, and December 5th. So
I
anybody that
trust
didn't,
Mistwalker.
yeah. Anybody that I mean, from what I hear, people that had played the Apple Arcade version of the game, it was really good. And so this game comes with like full voice acting and everything. So
Okay.
Love to hear
that's
it.
really cool. All right, Dragon Age: The Velguard. All right,
Mhm.
I have not played a single Dragon Age game. All right,
Wow,
I'm glad to
really?
say
Not
this.
one?
Yeah, No.
Okay. Sure.
I
I've played
I
all
like
of them.
I like high fantasy, all right? But I preferred the Mass Effect side of BioWare during that
Mhm.
age. So, uh,
Yeah, so
this game actually kind of looks good. I'm not gonna lie.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
the
I mean,
gameplay wise.
yeah, yeah. It's no. So I want to bring up what I was thinking of earlier.
Please do.
So there is a race called Canary, right? They're
Correct.
essentially very big tiefling.
They're huge
Essentially,
tieflings.
yeah, they're very big. Now, the previous games they have a really interesting design, by which the way that the horns would grow out their heads and stuff. For some reason, they decided to give them bubble foreheads this time round.
Okay. Yes. Alright, I
Yeah,
was
that's
wondering what you
weird.
were getting at.
They did
So y
something to
so
the
yeah.
design which is not appealing.
I just assume this is on the player model specifically because, I think we saw a second Kunari in this game who had
Did
the
they?
traditional horns, yeah.
Oh, good. Good. Because the screenshots of what people have been seeing from the character creator and the Canary, they're like, "What is this discount tiefling?
Oh,
What did they
no,
do to their foreheads?"
I was wrong. It's better than the player model, but n only by just.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, this is something that I noticed because, um, I have played all the Dragon Age games. 1 is my favorite narratively, 2 is my favorite to play, just because 1 is getting up there in age. 1 is my favorite cast though, easy. But,
Yeah, I don't know what it is about it. It's just they've made their skin as well look really smooth and plasticky, while the
yeah.
older design is way more defined and textured. Is interesting, right?
So, this is interesting actually. Way back in
Using
so
Unreal, aren't they?
I believe so.
Yeah,
Dragon Age
that's where the
has an
plastic
issue
design
with
comes
Kunari
from.
where they've retconned their story, well, only once,
Hmm.
and admittedly, it was for the better. At least I think it's a retcon. I might be wrong about that. But in the first game, you have a Kunari who is not of the Horned race. I believe he is culturally a Kunari, but not the Kunari that
Yeah,
you think of when you see them.
yeah, yeah.
Sten. Sten. Um, and so in the second game, when we see the Canary and we see like these big hulking tiefling bastards, I was devastated. I could not play as one, by the way. Um, this made more sense, and they continued on with this look into Inquisition with the Iron Bull and the player character, and they're fantastic. So yeah, when you see this one, and they've gone full Mega Mind, very big
Oh
forehead.
my god.
Yeah, yeah, just full Megamind.
Oh my
It is
god.
it is questionable. So, Kunari have gone through many stages, and they were all good until this one.
No
And
ridges?
I stop that. Oh my
I
god.
remember I remember Asmongold saying because he was complaining about the Kunari look as well. He goes like, "Look like budget Klingon."
Oh, no.
Oh, man. I don't know what the fuck he's talking about. Um,
You know
yeah,
what
no,
Klingons look like, right?
that's I'm sorry, what?
Said you know what Klingons look like, right?
Yeah, and I think he's wrong.
Yeah.
Oh.
Um,
They're very these new ones are very smooth.
these Kunari specifically in Veilguard, suffer the most from my current least favorite thing about Veilguard, and that's the render style.
Oh yeah. That
Everything is so
that's like a
smooth and
that's an
clean.
Unreal
If
issue.
I don't think it is, well, there are plenty of Unreal games that look good. Like this is
Uh
an issue from restarting your game too many times and having to rush.
yeah.
However, again, this is a render issue for me. Um, because the idea behind the art style, I'm fine. I would personally prefer
I lied. It's
Dragon Age to be a
Frostbite.
darker
It's Frostbite.
Frostbite, yeah. I would prefer Dragon Age to be a darker game both in theme and visually. I think a grimier existence works better for the stories that they tell.
Yeah.
But they've opted for something a bit more modern, where like the fantasy, it's colorful and it's clean, and everyone's a supermodel, and I fucking hate this. Like compared against the Shock from Dragon Age 2, I hate everything about this. But the Canary, yeah, the Canary, for whatever reason, they mega minded them out, and that and just how smooth everything is, it's not a great look. Like, I don't know if they just needed to push the forehead back or just add some wrinkles and some texture, but it's not great.
Nope.
Nope.
But the gameplay for
Gameplay
Valorant
looks
actually
fun.
looks yeah
Yeah.
looks
I'll be
m-
honest, it's not what I'm looking for in a Dragon Age game. I think it's a little too action gameplay oriented, but I
mhm.
think that's probably largely a good thing. I think people are gonna like that more.
Yeah. I think you could get away with the probably I just don't think you could probably get away with how Dragon Age used to be in this day and age.
Moreover than that, because I think you could, and I think it's proven by Baldur's Gate. Someone,
I don't think BioWare could do it.
well, yeah,
Is my
someone
opinion.
said it, and they're absolutely right. The last thing a BioWare game wants to do right now is
Oh yeah.
draw comparisons to Baldur's Gate. I don't remember
Yeah.
who said it, but they're so right. So the
Yep.
shift makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. Uh Alan Wake getting some DLC.
I need to play this game. I need
It's
to play this
cool.
game.
I'm
No god.
I
glad they connected it to Control now. It's
Yeah,
good.
I
Yeah.
loved Control. The fact that oh god, what's the DLC called? The Lost Lake House? No, just the Lake House.
No,
The
the
Lake
Lake
House
House, yeah.
is straight up just Control in atmosphere. So
I'll
also I need the IRL or not the IRL. I need the live action sequence from Alan Wake where they do um Champion of Light and Herald of Darkness. I need
mm,
that in my life.
and I need to play these games at some point in time. I own Control. I have Control, but
Recommend it.
yeah. Let's see. There's no release date. It's October. October is when the Alan Wake DLC comes out. So
Oh, I
you
must have
don't
missed
know.
it. Thank you.
Yeah, yeah. I was just watching it. Hitman World of Assassination. Another Hitman VR game coming
World
out
of
Look,
in
Assassination.
yeah.
I don't care for VR, for a couple of reasons, one of which including I'm an old man, I don't think my body would react well to VR right now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, if there is a game that feels appropriate to put in VR, this kind of
Hitman.
feels like it because of the amount of
Yeah.
creativity that is asked of you in a Hitman game. And this is
Yeah.
made by IO. This is made by the Hitman folks, so it's not gonna
Mm-hmm.
be, um, a poor Hitman experience, I think. It should be
No, it
true to
shouldn't
that.
be. Yeah. Should be pretty good. Yeah, that's coming in December.
I
So if
was
you like
kind of blown
VR,
away I was kinda blown away by the fact that they were like, "Yeah, no, we got akimbo, both hands
yeah.
separately." I was like, "I
Oh yeah,
imagine that's
yeah, yeah.
standard in VR, but
True
no
dual
one
wielding.
talks about that, and that feels important, so that's cool."
There's a couple of other VR shooting games that allows you to do like dual wielding stuff or whatever. I know Dan from Gigaboots talks. He's a big VR fanatic. He talks about that
Oh,
stuff a
yeah, he
lot.
is.
So, Leak's favorite series, Soul Reaver, Legacy of Kain, Soul Reaver 1 and 2 is getting
Yeah.
remastered.
Get it out.
Yes. Okay, so I love Soul Reaver, and the whole Blood Omen series and stuff like that. Dollet
Mhm.
also kind of tested this. Like he was also a mega
Yes.
fan.
Big fan of
So
Legacy of Kain stuff.
Legacy of Kain, brilliant. Yes, yes. Uh, now I've attempted to relive my childhood and nostalgia by playing the Steam versions of the ports of the PS1 games.
Hmm.
Okay, so as in Soul Reaver and Soul Reaver 2. Unfortunately, those ports are utter crap. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I don't know what you did or not did, but I could not. It was unplayable, even though I also uh, tried to use the community mod to try to fix whatever was going on with it. It's to do with like the resolution and stuff like that, because obviously the older games are on the CRT monitor, not any of the modern ones, right? And there was like dimension stuff that was having huge issues with
Right.
resolution on my monitor. It was horrid, horrid. The mods unfortunately could not avail my pain. It could not relieve my torture trying to play this game. Nostalgia was not satisfied. I hoped and prayed that they would fix it. Instead, they simply took it off Steam. And I was
Yep.
like, that was a gut punch. I thought, well, there was either this it would either go two ways. I would never see them ever again, and I would have to basically buy just a PS1 and try to find a copy of the original. Or two, they took it off because they would be remastering at least these games. And lo and behold, here we are. Finally, Soul Reaver remasters 1 and 2. Yippee! I'm so happy. Now, they're not just this two. I was also got a hint that this might happen not too recently, actually, because they are doing a Kickstarter for a pre-equal um, of Raziel's story in a
Graphic
form of a
novel.
graphic novel. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
the art looks amazing, so I can't wait to see that all finished and done. But yeah, I'm so glad that this is
Yes.
the path they chose. I'm so happy.
I agree with you. There are a lot of games I'd like to see redone, like completely modernized. This isn't one of them, and a lot of it comes down to I don't want them to touch the cast. And poor us, you and me, uh, Tony J is not with us anymore, and I cannot imagine anyone else on the Elder God.
Yeah, his voice was so unique, and the way
I
he,
can't imagine anyone on
yeah,
any of these characters.
yeah,
Simon
yeah.
Templeman, Michael Bell are the only two Kane and Raziel's for me. So I'm well pleased about this. Um, I feel for you not being able to play this because I think 2 or 3 years ago, I did replay through Soul Reaver 2
Hmm.
via emulation
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I had been warned that the Steam
yeah.
stuff was not to be trusted.
No, it really wasn't.
But I believe this is Amy Hennig's handiwork on the writing table, and it was divine. I like Blood Omens 1 and 2. I like all of the Legacy of Kain series, but Soul Reavers 1 and 2 and Legacy of Kain Defiance, these 3 games are mwah,
Mm.
oh, so good. I recognize it's not actually vampire fantasy. It's just like dark fantasy with vampires, but this
And
is what I'm here
timey-wimey
for.
stuff.
Oh, the fact like, look, writing time is weird, and they nailed it. They nailed it, like, 4 or 5 different times in the series. Very pleased.
Yeah.
Yes. So very, very happy. Very, very
I
happy.
I I will hamper your expectation here, Leak though.
Why?
The
Why you do this?
the trailer only says PS4 and PS5.
Oh, yeah, I saw that on their website. I was like, no, no, it's just a PlayStation showcase. They won't mention PC.
Yes. Yes,
They won't
I
Well,
mention.
but
suspect.
they do mention PC on other PlayStation games in this
Oh,
showcase.
Yeah.
no, why you do this?
All all the same, I would still healthy optimism. If they weren't planning on putting it up on PC, they probably wouldn't have taken it down.
Please, please put on Steam, please.
Give her this, Aqua. She needs
Please.
it.
uh, well, up next is Fear the Spotlight. It's a retro 3D person horror. That comes out
Yeah, made by
October.
a company called Cozy Game Pals. I love that.
Yep.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
really?
It's very
Yeah, Cozy
cozy,
Game
all
That's
Pals.
right.
a new name.
Uh, yeah. They didn't show much. It was just a really short thing. And
Yeah, I
it's
had a couple people saying it was a survival game, so I might have been wrong with my like third
mhm.
person horror. I mean, it is third person horror. I didn't see the survival aspects, but that doesn't mean they're not there. It was a
Yeah.
very, it was a very to the point trailer.
I just saw a bunch of horror elements, so or like like suspense type elements. Um, next is Towers of Agahashpa.
Go on, Agaspa.
Agaspa. There you go. I didn't actually listen to if they actually said the name. And
Fair, fair, fair.
Agaspa. All right.
Mm.
This looks like a good old adventure game with
Yeah.
That's what it
multiplayer.
looks like.
With
That's
multiplayer.
what it looks like.
Um, and early access is next year, I think. Oh no,
I didn't
November.
catch that.
November. Early
Okay, there
access
you
is
go.
November. Yeah. So it's a multiplayer action adventure game, something like that. So that they didn't really say much about it. They just showed it off. It looks interesting.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
it's early access game. Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
multiplayer. That'll be fun to do that sort of thing with friends.
I
Yeah.
suspect so.
It looked like a giant world to explore. So
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
like huge. But it also had gliders in it, so I immediately get like fucking Genshin Impact flashbacks
Yeah,
or whatever, and I'm
yeah.
thinking game's gonna be like some crappy gotcha game. But it doesn't look like it's gonna be a gotcha game. Because I don't think the art style lends itself to gotcha games. So split screen, Lego Fortnite.
Enjoy Aqua. Now you and Zeke can play together.
What? No, I mean, I haven't played Lego Fortnite, and what are you talking about? I don't even live near Zeke, so I don't even need
I
split
don't
screen.
I don't know this. I'm just giving you shit.
I don't have any friends around me to play Lego Fortnite with, like in
No,
my
just drive up.
on my
See
computer.
Sly. Sly lives nearish you.
Yeah, but he's not gonna play Lego Fortnite.
Probably
And
not.
and Lego Fortnite is just the Minecraft type thing, where it's just survival.
I
I've
do forget that. Right, right,
played
right.
enough hours of Lego Fortnite. I'm gonna go ahead and tell you that. Played enough hours of it. That's cool. There's also a Fortnite controller, DualSense controller, which I guess looks okay if you're into Fortnite. I guess. Um, Dynasty Warriors Origins though actually kind of looks good.
It's so weird to me.
Why? Why is it weird?
I've been
Because
so
Dynasty
checked
Warriors
out of
don't look
Koei
good normally.
Tecmo. Yeah, I've been so checked out of Koei Tecmo doing well on their own series for so long. Because it, don't get me wrong, W Force and Koei Tecmo does amazing work when they're working for Nintendo.
Yeah.
Like, grand jobs. But the last couple Dynasty Warrior games were either bad or just more of the same. So I haven't been excited. I couldn't tell you the last time I was like excited about a Dynasty Warrior game. And this one do be looking kind of sick though.
Yeah, it does actually kind of look pretty cool. Um, too
No idea
bad
who the
it
pro tag is.
doesn't exist to me. Too bad it just does
Oh,
not exist to me. Comes out the same day as Tales of Grace's F
oh,
remaster.
right. That's true.
Ah, I
That's
see.
absolutely true.
So Dynasty Warriors just does not exist.
I do not perceive, said Aqua.
Yeah,
Yes,
don't
correct.
perceive. But it does look really good. For a Musou game, uh, it. I mean, the trailer ran at 60, so I don't know
I'm
if we.
very impressed by all of the mooks on screen.
Yeah,
And I imagine people will hear me say that and go, "That's literally what Dynasty Warriors is, though." Yeah,
hmm
except
except
they've
at
never
30
looked
frames.
this good. Also, yeah, it's always 30. But Disney Wars, like, it's always been hampered visually. This
Hmm.
looks amazing, and I think I don't know, I don't have it written down on what I'm reading from, but I think I wrote it down in our chat. This feels like a war, granted a giant, you know, fantasy war,
Yeah,
but like a
yeah.
Hmm.
war, and it's never felt like that to me before. It's always been
Yeah.
hallway sim where I get to do really, really cool things in each room.
Gotcha.
Hmm. And then here comes the real star of the show.
Okay, let's go.
The
Damn
Ready? One,
right.
two, three. Ah!
the the one
Yeah.
the one thing that sweeps every fucking conference that it's in. Anytime this game is shown, I'm sitting here like, man, this game's gonna come out sometime soon.
Damn, this thing exists?
Yeah,
Wow.
Release
damn,
date, release
Capcom
date,
got
release date,
hands.
release date, release date,
Yes, actually, huge
release date.
news.
Monster Hunter Wilds showed off a trailer.
Mm.
The trailer not only showed off three new monsters. One of those
Yes.
monsters was the flagship.
Finally saw it.
So, it is a whip dragon.
It
It's a literally,
looks sick. And it's got
literally,
a edgy as hell title?
uh,
The
yeah, the
White
white
Wraith?
wraith. Yeah.
Ooh.
It's very cool.
Um, they showed off the Uth Duna, which is
Oof, do not, yeah.
which is a water
I don't know what that
monster.
is.
It's
It's a
some type
very
of,
frilly leviathan.
yeah, and it's the apex of the Scarlet Forest, or like I think
Mhm.
whatever the forest is
Ah,
called.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so,
So
Laverne ended up being right. The big
Yes.
mechanic's probably going to be a flooded forest,
Yes.
yeah,
because we literally see that happening.
And he
yep.
was pretty much bang on with the release date.
This is true. Yeah, he
He
really
literally
was.
Yep.
said 26th, 27th, or 28th of
Yep.
February.
He literally said that.
Yeah, that man
uh,
is a prophet.
and the last monster they showed off was a cockatrice, or
That's gonna be
uh
cool.
came a camatrice, whatever it's
Mm.
called.
Oh,
Yeah.
I forgot to actually think of its real name. I was so into like,
No,
with a
I wrote it.
cockatrice. That's cool.
It's called a camatrice, a camatrice, because the root word of it is kamar, which means burn.
Nice.
Yeah.
It
So
is the smallest little brute wyvern I've ever seen.
yeah, it is literally a cockatrice that shoot fire out of its tail. So, or swings fire out of its
Yay.
tail. So,
Very good.
looks really good. They showed off more story. That looks
Mm-mm.
sick.
I
Obviously they showed the
genuinely
release
can't
date.
believe how excited I am for the story. It's so
I
weird.
know, right? This Monster Hunter story
It's
hasn't been that in
so
depth, but
yeah, it feels so compelling this time.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
Your
thank you for
hunter
letting our
talks.
characters speak. Yeah,
Yeah.
genuinely. I get
yeah.
it. I fully understand that a lot of people like don't like that because they like it stops being them. I have no issue. Thank you for letting my character make meaningful dialogue choices.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
The only
And,
thing that, and then I mean it's not a big deal at all. It's just that I was watching a lot of the TwitchCon plays that they did
Right.
because they had loads of people just playing it, the demo that was there. And that the Palico they talk this time round. You can switch it off, of course, if you want to, but
Hmm.
because our hunter now speaks, it would have been nice. And a few people mentioned this in the chat too. It would be nice if there was a little back and forth because the Palico does feed you lines as you're hunting and stuff. It would be nice to have a response to anything they said,
True.
even if they're meowing, because we all understand what the Palico says, regardless of what
The
they
handler
sound
does
like.
it as well. The handler gets to talk to them, apparently.
Yeah. Yes, it would be nice if there was some lines to show that they're actually talking to each other. But other than that, like I said, it's not a real big deal at all.
I mean,
But I
we've said
really,
this for ages, but the Palico's never our Palico. They're just our partner. It's always
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
handlers or the caravans or something.
Hmm, hmm. So
Yeah, our
it's really
Palicoan
nice.
world was definitely not ours.
Facts.
But yeah. It is really nice to hear the hunter actually speak.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Said February 28th is the release date, and you
I
can
can't
now
wait to melt
pre-order
my
it.
computer playing this.
Right, now what we need
Speaking
to
of
do.
melting your computer,
No. What we need to do now, we have to get Lavrin to tell us when the demo will be out because clearly he knows everything.
True. Clearly he's
Clearly,
like
Lavrin,
prophetic.
tell us.
Oh,
so
great Monster Hunter Oracle,
well they
enlighten us.
they talked about at the end of it that on the 26th there is a showcase at TGS for Monster Hunter Wilds. So, and that more information would be said there. So there might be an announcement of a demo at on the 26th.
In 2 days?
Mhm.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
From
Yeah.
time of recording.
Yeah. But speaking of melting your computer, one big issue that came out about Monster Hunter Wilds was they released the spec requirements for the
Oh
They
game.
did. This
no.
is true. This
Yeah,
is true.
Yeah.
I'm concerned. But my PC should be fine.
I
I'm
think your
only
PC is gonna be fine. Yeah,
yeah.
actually, genuinely.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
just how much is the storage?
140.
Oh,
Oh, okay, that's
really?
not bad.
Okay.
Actually, that's less than Baldur's Gate 3, so that's okay.
Yeah, I also thought it was going
True.
to be bigger.
Um the issue with the requirements is um specifically for the recommended specs. All right. The recommended specs at a resolution of 1080p,
Which is
you
already
will get
weird.
a frame rate of 60 FPS, quote, parentheses, with frame generation enabled. Um, the processor is not that bad. It's Ryzen 5 or Intel Core i5. 16 gigabytes of memory, which makes sense. And at the lowest, a RTX 2070 Super. Uh, the biggest
Though if you're
issue is
using
the
that, you're not going to get the frame generation. 'Cause frame
yeah. If you're
generation
using
on
yeah
RTX cards is locked to the 40 series.
yeah, um, you'll be able to do DLSS like 2, but that's about it.
Yes. Yes,
Um,
which isn't in our case. It won't be frame generation, but DLSS has always been very good at
mhm.
beefing up the resolution and allowing for a couple extra frames to be squeezed out.
Yeah, the issue is that it's 60 FPS at 1080p with frame generation enabled, which is
Yeah, that feels weird.
specifically locked to 40 series cards. Um,
So my assumption is this is, of course, at the high preset.
medium.
So medium. Oh, that's not good. My
SSD required,
assumption.
game expected to run at 1080 60 frames per second with frame generation under the medium graphics settings.
Oh, okay, that's a choice. Um, I am hoping we'll be able to squeeze more horsepower out of our various cards just by doing things we did in the base game of lowering the volumetrics, which for me
Yeah.
saw my FPS climb. I think only a single digit amount, but like it was a chunk. It was enough to be noticeable. Uh, I'm sure when people get their hands on it, we'll be able to do better than what they assume. But the fact that this is their assumption, it's weird. I don't love that. I don't like that that they want 1080p for the recommended stuff. That feels that feels weird to me. And of course, they have a minimum card set, which will still allow you to play the game at low to medium. Again at 1080p, upscaled from 720.
Hmm.
So yeah, they're making this game playable for as wide an audience as they can. I just something feels wrong when I see this spec sheet. Something feels like it could have been done better, and I don't know what it is.
Well, still over half the player base plays at 1080p, or at the half of Steam user base plays at 1080p.
Yeah,
So
I guess that's fair. I guess that's a fair target
yeah,
to aim at. I would still
it's
be
like
aiming for
50.
1440.
It's like 58% of players on Steam play games at 1080p.
And
So
I guess even if you play at 1080, you can upscale from there. Yeah, I
mhm.
guess that's fair. I guess I'm just being worried over nothing.
Well, I'm worried that it says with frame generation enabled because that's specifically locked to the 40 series cards.
Oh, you're worried
Um,
we're gonna get like 45 FPS.
yeah. I mean, I already don't get a consistent 60 on World. Um, so I'm also kind of worried that I might not get like super high on. This might change though because between now and then I could probably grab Evan's card depending on if the 50
Hey,
series comes out or not.
you could also just get a PS5 Pro.
True. I mean, I have a PS5. I could just buy a PS5. I could just get the PS5 version. Their crossplay is enabled.
This is true. I was mostly going for the beefy
Oh
graphics
yeah.
in the big three, but
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sure there's not gonna be that much of a difference between the PS5 and the
I
PS5
agree
Pro
with you if I'm
performance
honest.
when it comes to that. But thankfully the CPU requirements isn't hefty um for it, so it's not we're not gonna have a we're not gonna have a Dragon's Dogma 2 on our hands, hopefully. But yeah, I'm excited. Do February 28th. That means I have just over a month to play as much Tales of Grace's F as I can. Which I mean, I'll be done with pretty much everything in that game way
I would
before.
assume so, yeah.
Yeah, I've already almost 100%ed it on the PlayStation, so and that might give me time to play a little bit of Freedom Wars if I decide to play a little bit of Freedom Wars. Um, and then the rest of the year is playing Monster Hunter Wilds. Just getting
Feels about right.
a couple thousand hours in the game. Yeah. Um, Lego Horizon Adventures. Yeah, it comes out October 3rd. It's a Lego Horizon game. Cool. Uh,
I had a lot of questionable things to say about this. That's a Lego as hell Lego game, though.
yeah, true. It is, and it probably will be good because it is a Lego game. So I don't think I've ever played a Lego game that wasn't like enjoyable. So, but they've all been Star Wars, so I can't really say anything. I enjoy Star Wars. Horizon kind of, but if you like Horizon, you can get the Horizon Zero Dawn remastered. That also comes out in October 31st. And if you own the original game, you get an upgrade to this one for only $10. So
I am confused as to why this game needed a remaster, and
it
furthermore,
didn't.
to well, yeah, of course, right? What's being changed other than visuals? If it's just visuals, why does it matter? But if they are doing mechanical changes to bring it in line with Forbidden West, which looked like you could do more, I don't know, $10 feels fine.
Yeah, I mean,
But again, I don't know that this game needed to exist.
no, it didn't. It didn't. I don't think there's like an insane amount uh coming in the remastered version. Um, I think it is mainly graphics. Um, that's usually how it normally is, I guess. But I think there might be a couple of gameplay changes just to have it more feel like Forbidden West. But I mean, I also agree this doesn't need to exist. But if you already own the game, you just have to pay $10 to get the upgrade, and $10 is, I guess, okay and fine. And this works for both PlayStation and PC. So if you own the normal version on PC, you can just upgrade to the remastered version on PC for
That
$10.
makes sense, but I'll be honest, I wasn't even considering the PC stuff. So that's good to
Yeah,
know. At least they're
yeah,
consistent.
yeah. And I think I do own Horizon Zero Dawn on the PC, so uh, I could do that. I do own Horizon Zero Dawn on PC, yeah. So, will I do that? Probably not. Because I beat Horizon Zero Dawn once. I don't really need to go through it again. um, Stellar Blade is getting update with some extra stuff like photo mode and stuff like that, but it's also getting a collab
Most
with
logical
Nier
collab I
Automata.
have ever heard.
Yeah,
This
the
is
most
the
logical.
most logical choice that has ever been made in gaming.
Yep.
That game that we blatantly stole from, what if we just invited them to party too?
Well, I mean, Yoko
Yeah,
Taro has even
pretty much.
stated that he loves the game, so
He does, he's super into it. So yeah, if they're down, we're down, let's be down.
yeah. And it looks like, you'll have 2B will be in the game. Or you might get a 2B costume or whatever, but it looks like you go into like uh what looks like to be the ruined city in Nier Automata. Um
Mhm.
Looks really cool. I still haven't beaten Stellar Blade because in the middle of everything coming out during that time, I just didn't have time. So I'll get back to it at one point, but uh I also am really keen to play Nier Automata Blade. So yeah, that'll be that'll be great. Um PS5 Pro stuff. Mark Cerny came on to talk 3 seconds about nothing. Because that's what the
That
PS5
is
Pro
true.
is, nothing.
No,
Yeah.
but like literally he came on and said, "Yeah, here's a 10-second like AMV about all the games that's
Yeah.
going to be upgraded with PS5 that you already knew about."
Mhm. Uh uh I don't remember Metal Gear Solid Delta being mentioned, but Metal Gear Solid Delta was apparently mentioned. Saw it.
I
You
mean,
wrote it down.
yeah, in that little fucking AMV they had for the PS5, I saw scenes that I had not seen about Metal Gear Solid Delta yet in it.
Mhm.
I saw the end chase sequence. I'm very excited. It looks very
Yeah.
good. Just don't change anything and let it be pretty, and then fully square into doing the same thing for 10, please.
Yeah. And that was the state of play. Or at least that's what I
Like
thought was the state of play.
I
All
was
right.
about to say.
Cuz I looked away from it and then I looked over and I saw something very familiar.
Yeah, you did.
I saw something extremely familiar and I was like, "Wait a
It
minute."
was so evident from moment one.
Yeah, so finally Ghost of Tsushima 2, quote Ghost of Tsushima 2 been announced, which is now called Ghost of Yote. I do not know
Yote,
any
yeah.
story about Yote, so
I don't
I
know
don't know. I
anything
don't
about
know.
this.
I don't know what it's
I
following.
think I want to say wait, you might know. But Yote was a region or a mountain?
It's a mountain, yeah.
I
I know that.
mean, yeah. I mean, it even shows in that teaser art. There's a mountain there,
Yeah,
and in the trailer, I'm assuming.
yeah,
Yes, 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 yes.
yeah. You
Yes,
see
Mount
you see
Yote.
Yote. Yeah, you
Yeah,
see
yeah,
Mount
yeah,
Yote in the trailer, but I just don't know.
yeah.
Because
I don't know the
Tsushima
story
Yeah.
is a
behind it
specific
though.
is a
Yeah,
specific story. So,
yeah.
Yeah, I
um,
don't know anything about anything that's ever happened in this region.
It does ring a
um,
bell, but at the moment, at the top of my head, I don't know. Don't
I
remember.
can't get over how much of a western this felt like.
oh, I did have Western music in it. Or like a
Like,
West like it had like
yeah, like it was still using very, very Japanese instrumentation. But the the composition felt like a Western. I was in. I'm very in.
Oh, I have some information. All right, because apparently the Wikipedia was able to grab some information. All right, synopsis:
Ah, cool.
Ghosts of Yote centers around the theme of underdog vengeance. Following the female protagonist Atsu, portrayed by Erika Ishii, the story is set in 1603, 329 years after the events of the first game, takes place around Mount Yote on Japan's Hokkaido island. And developers have noted that players will have more control over Atsu's narrative and choices compared to Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh, interesting. I wonder how. Hmm.
I mean, Sucker Punch is was supposed to be known for their uh, character choice dialogue for their past video games that they've made. It's just that wasn't really relevant in Tsushima very well because they were the infamous games and you either picked good side or bad side.
Yeah, yeah.
And Ghost of Tsushima didn't really like it had that, but it wasn't like uh
No,
it
you're right. I
didn't
don't
really
think
change
it.
anything.
Agreed. I don't think it made any meaningful impact to the story they wanted to tell.
Mm-hmm.
That was a for us change or a for us option.
Mm-hmm. But by God, this game looks amazing. Holy,
It's pretty.
it is so
Though
pretty.
straight up, Ghost of Tsushima on PS4 looked
Mm-hmm.
pretty.
Yeah.
So
And then playing on a PS5 looked even more
it
pretty.
looks so good.
Yeah. So, oh man, I'm ready. I'm ready. I saw it and I was like, Ghost of Tsushima 2? Also, next year? God damn.
Yes. Yeah, the fact that they've just head down, not said a word, and I like this game coming out in less than 3 years reveal. I like this. More
Yeah.
of this. I think I've said it every time they do something like this. I
Yeah.
enjoy this.
Oh god. Oh, I've been wanting another Ghost game or Ghost like game cuz like man, I played what Rise of the Ronin and that was okay, but it wasn't the same. And I know Assassin's Creed Shadow is going to be nowhere near that.
No.
uh
You have expectations now.
Yeah.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
I do have expectations now. Oh, it's going to be so good. Uh... Sorry. I had a moment there. Um Yeah. I I thought this was a good state of play. I thought this was
Oh, yeah.
good. I thought this was a step up from the disaster that was the PS5 Pro reveal.
Yeah.
um, Sony's
100%.
still Sony's still dumb. I think they're still idiots.
Yeah, this does not change the fact that Sony's being really stupid right now.
Um, but at least some of their games that are coming out look like they're going to be really good video games. So,
Mhm.
I give this an A minus.
Yes, I think that's where I would put it too, horrifically biased as I am.
Yeah, I
That
give
said,
it an A.
I probably personally would have changed the order of things to make it more impactful to the wider audience. Because I think some people who want the big tent poles probably checked out during Midnight Walk, Hellas, Metro Awakening, and Arcade, maybe even Power World.
I'd have
It
put
might have.
the Legacy of Kain games a little earlier.
I probably would have started off with Astrobot for sure, and then I probably would have gone directly into using Astrobot directly into the Stellar Blade stuff,
Oh yeah, true. Yeah. Yeah,
and then had a couple of
put
quieter
some of the
games, and then a
bigger stuff
big.
earlier. Yeah.
Yeah, and then had, like, a Shadow X Sonic, and then a few quieter ones, and then Veilguard, a few quiet, Alan Wake, so and so. But yeah, my only issue is the order of events, and we were all gonna watch the whole thing anyway. Yeah, no, big. Well done, Sony. You didn't muck it up. I appreciate that. I will be forking over money against my will to you.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. Um. Yeah. That's the news this week. This is a long episode. So,
It sure is.
there was a lot that happened this week. So, it was much needed. What is y'all's plan for the week?
More
Um.
original terrorism.
Oh no, they're
uh,
not ready.
you already. Yeah, just probably the same old for me anyway.
I don't think I have any specific plans this week. I know Dee's at some point going to steal me away for more fighting games, and I've reintroduced myself to the genre again, which is fine. I've enjoyed relearning Persona. Um, Other than that, I'm not quite sure. I'm not quite sure.
Hmm.
I will get back to you, and you'll find out next week.
True. True. I don't think I'm playing any video games at all this week. I think I'm video gamed out. I don't think I
I
took
definitely don't
five.
believe that.
I don't think I took 4 days off of work to play a video game. I
Yeah,
don't
no,
believe I
certainly.
don't believe I did that.
There's no new
So,
releases coming out that you're interested in.
yeah, I don't think there's another video game coming. I mean, I think video games are kind of just too too lowbrow now. I need higher
Yeah,
brow
they're very
content.
2003. You're
Yeah.
into anime.
Yeah.
You're into
N-
like what 2006 anime? Fairy Tale? No, not 2006.
Whoa, 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 whoa! Where we're at the moment is like 2019. All right.
All right, fair.
So but no, Fairy Tale is actually probably not gonna be much of a thing this week because in less than 9 hours I get access to Kai no Kiseki. So I will be playing that for however long it takes me to one, either beat it, or two, go through my ADHD process and put it down and not pick it back up for another 6 months. Because
Let's
that's
hope
what
that's not
happens.
let's hope that's not what happens this time.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Who knows? Maybe. But that'll be primarily probably what I'll be playing this week. So friends might steal me away from something else. Maybe. Depends. It depends on how engrossed I am into the game, because then I'll just be like, nah, guys, I'm doing only this and only this. Outside of going to Korean barbecue tomorrow. But yeah,
Yes, very important.
yeah. Anyway, that is all for this week. Dalit,
Yeah.
take us away.
Hey guys, thanks for joining us today. If you enjoyed what you heard, you can find us here at twitch.tv/leaquibbles on Tuesday evenings. Or if you want us on demand, catch us at YouTube at Perpetual Backlog Podcast. Wherever you choose to listen to us, remember to show us some love with a follow, a like, or maybe just say something down in the comment section. That said, I've been Dolit, they've been Leaking Aqua, you've been amazing, and we'll see you in the next one. Be good now.
Bye-bye.
Before you go, remember to like, comment, and sub to us. Not only does it help out the channel and let us know what you're into, but it also makes you 100% cooler than everybody else. I checked with Aqua. It's definitely true.